ESL One Malaysia is brought to you by Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, 1xBet, Monster Energy, and Resort World Genting.
goodness gracious. Are y'all here ready for Grand Finals Day of ESL One Malaysia? Okay. Woo! They're getting ready, Album.
Yeah, and we're getting ready too. We have one match before the Grand Finals, a very, very exciting match that will determine who is going to be playing against Aster today. Do you guys want to know who's going to win this lower bracket final?
Yes, that guy did right there. Absolutely.
Yeah,
a man just stood up. He started taking off his pants. Unbelievable. This guy don't do it, sir. Don't do it. This guy heckin' loves OG.
Heckin' lovers of OG. There we go.
All right, so we have a few good teams for you here today. Let's get a little feel from the crowd. One of our first teams is Team Secret. Any Team Secret fans? Any Pupper fans? Okay, pretty good.
Okay, the second team we have here, a little known team known as OG.
And they're up against the best in Dota right now at this event. Bar none, no question. Any Astars out there? Aster fans.
Jayo, Aster, Jayo.
There we go. I'm a big fan of Dota myself, so all three of these teams are super hyped, but we will be sending one away very shortly, down to the pits of Dota to never be spoken of again. No one will ever speak of them, but we'll see. Let's go ahead.
Hopefully they don't speak of them badly. Because you guys are all great fans, right? You support any kind of good team.
Right?
Right? There we go.
There you
True
go.
Dota fans.
Fantastic. Well, while we get ready for these first games, let's go ahead and take a peek at potentially what happened yesterday. I believe there is a video, in fact.
There is a video for that.
I would hope so.
I would hope so too.
Perhaps it will start any second.
Yes.
Well, okay, well then do it.
Let's go. What happened
All
yesterday?
right.
Oh, what a powerful strike into the arena. Perfect setup for OG. This is his last time available. He's given the playmaker through, and he's trying to fight. No, another thunder. The terror player. He's not dying. They're going to get it. He's trying to land up. Make them running. They do. The buyback's available though.
Another one!
Who is it? Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Sakuchi on the stage!
It's
a Weaver!
Maybe once Bean's Hammond dead, they're gonna go for the DK, now turn back to that MLR status, stuck in the right through OG, one by one, your tombstone means nothing. This Terrorblade is an absolute monster, 2 is a monster, 4-person stun, 3 seconds, cancel out from Palos, but there's nothing to follow it up with. Armel, he jumps back in, trying to go for it, but an echo play from 2. Are you looking for me?
Welcome everyone to the final day here in the Arena of Stars. ESL One Malaysia 2022 going out in style. I hope you guys have been enjoying the tournament so far and enjoying all the Dota that we've brought here in Southeast Asia. Just a teaser of what you guys will be experiencing in Singapore come the International 2022. And it has been a wild journey to get to this point. 1 Chinese team and 2 Western European teams remain, and we need to resolve which of these Western European teams will go up to face against Team Aster. Will it be OG, who has already qualified for TI, or will it be Team Secret that is eagerly trying to figure out is this just a honeymoon phase with Resolution and Zayats, or is this destined for success? And I can't walk you through it myself. I've got a panel of experts to join me. It's Winter, Adam, and Cinderin. Gentlemen, it has been a long time, Winter, since you've gotten a LAN here in your home turf. Has it lived up to your expectations?
Yeah, so far all the series have been really, really exciting, especially yesterday where OG showed up for two of their series, both 2-1 in their favor. And earlier in the event also, they already played Secret once. They lost to their Enigma Tusk combination twice. So I want to see what's going to be the idea here to play against Enigma. Are they going to snatch it? Are they going to ban it? Or are they going to just let them have it again and pick something else to deal with it?
Yeah, adaptation's going to be the name of the game. And Adam, what was your initial top 4 ranking before this event started? Are these 3 of the teams that you would have seen coming, or did this take you a little bit by surprise?
I think the top 3 teams right now are not a surprise. The surprise for me was Entity.
Okay.
But like we talked about earlier, they kind of got affected by the new patch. They were a team that was very heavily, they had heavy strategies. Like you could tell by their draft, they had a game plan going into each game and like how to approach the game and use their players. And Fnatic, I would call it an upset still, but Fnatic definitely one of the teams that showed up this tournament.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the series against Entity, like you mentioned, and then that heartbreaking loss against OG at the end. Was that your most exciting series of yesterday, Cinderin, as we closed out the day?
It was probably that or OG against Thunder. I think OG against Thunder was probably the one with the most easily the most crazy comeback in game number 2,
for sure.
and game number 3 was also, a nail biter. So I think that one would probably have to take the cake for me. But yeah, overall yesterday had some great series. I guess the biggest concern going into today for people potentially is that Aster looked pretty dominant against Secret. So if you look in this lower bracket, I hope we're gonna have the winning team today pick up some steam and make that finals a little bit more competitive than the Aster Secret series was, because that was pretty one-sided actually.
Shockingly so, and
Yeah.
so many people considered Secret to be their favorites. And we have had a lot of favorite heroes that we've been looking at the beginning of our days. But what about our least favorite heroes? 7.32 brought a lot of buffs, but it brought a lot of nerfs to a lot of heroes as well. So we'll take it from the top. Marcy, getting a little bit of the Earth Spirit treatment will change what stuns and what slows, and apparently will change if she's viable or not, Winter, because she has fallen off of a cliff. As good as her cosplay was yesterday, in the game, not so much.
Yeah, the Earth Spirit treatment definitely made it a little bit more concerning to pick this hero, how you're going to use this hero, because the laning phase definitely got affected a lot. And you know how important when you pick this hero to secure the lanes, like as a support, your main job is to secure the side lanes. And in the previous patches, Marcy has been one of, with Tiny, they are both the best side lane supports to displace the enemy and set up kills for your cause. And that definitely hurt the hero a lot.
Yeah, it's not even so much not being a first phase pick anymore, it's just not picked at all, Cinder. She is completely unviable, it seems.
Yeah, so I think there's a combination of multiple things, right? Moonman was talking on the panel yesterday about how the classic, or not the classic, but the recent way of playing Marcy would be pick up that blink dagger. You would blink, toss someone, and then it would stun them, and you could kill them in that stun. But now when you blink, toss them, they can BKB, they can blink out, whatever, because it's just a slow.
Yeah, he likened it to the Magnus Horn toss.
Exactly,
nerf.
he compared it to his Horn Toss, which also hit that hero really hard. So that's one comparison. The other one is the way the laning stage and the flow of the game is now. I think in the last patch, Marcy's win rate wasn't even that great. She was just an exceptionally strong early game hero. But now with the pacing of the game being different, I think she also suffers a bit from getting less gold early and the whole scaling of things, such as when Moon talked about the Earthshaker, where you now go Shard instead of Blink because it just takes too long to get there. Marcy would have the same problem with Dagger.
How about Zeus, Adam? This was a godly pick, no pun intended, for most of 7.31, at least in pubs, maybe not in pro quite as much, but yet again, seeming completely irrelevant after 7.32.
I feel like the thing that affected Zeus the most was probably the small camp change. Because I think Zeus did get nerfed, the heavily jump cooldown and the slope, but I don't feel like it's that big a deal. I think it's just kind of harder to play it right now because supports tend to go mid, like we've seen from yesterday's game. 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, the supports are kind of coming middle. And I don't know if he's heavily affected by the cooldown, but it's definitely not as spammable as before. He does have a level 10 talent that gives him the cooldown back. He didn't lose too much, lost some health, I believe. And I think that the hero is still playable, but teams have not really had time to experiment and figure out what's right and wrong right now.
And it was safe to say that it was overtuned in the first place, Winter. Heavenly Jump was probably one of the biggest single spell upgrades I've ever seen a hero receive.
Yeah, because used with the nerf, if you play him as a core still, he's gonna have. I feel like he's gonna die a lot more in the early game because with the previous change, I felt like the hero just. He's supposed to die maybe a couple of times in the laning phase for the first 10 minutes, but he just didn't die because of the heavenly jump. And with the cooldown change, I feel like there's going to be a lot more openings to abuse the hero, and it's definitely going to affect his mid game.
And on the topic of heroes that have lost some defensive capabilities and I suppose offensive capabilities, Death Prophet. Synderen losing that percentage-based damage, now it's converted to flat damage, seems to have had a pretty substantial impact on her viability.
I mean, she's been hit by a truck in the laning stage, right? She lost 40 move speed on level 1. She went from 325 to 285. And now she gets move speed back when she skills her ult. So the first level you get 12% passive and you get 1620. So her move speed flat out is just worse until you're level 12. And obviously that laning stage obviously still plays a really big role. And I think I personally think the hero can still have a place with the New Spirit Siphon because I think in some situations it's just stronger. Like it's 80 DPS on level 4. When you hit that level 7 time, maybe you're really strong for a while. But again, limited time to practice and train stuff and find out which like niche she fits into. I just think when you look at the math right now, as the teams are just like, okay, let's just put that one away for now and play something else.
And especially with the glyph refreshes, I guess EXO is less viable now as being like the death ball strategy, Adam. You can't just mow down towers when you're getting glyphs back after every single tier gets taken down.
Again, it's that, and I feel like the games, at least at tournament so far, has been a lot about scaling. And I feel like Death Prophet, like he wants to use this out, and his biggest issue is always that he has this super long cooldown. Like if you compare it to Enigma, for example, I think most teams would prefer having Enigma over Death Prophet. Like the hero's been buffed, his lane is stronger, he's more independent, he's easier to pair. So I think it's just outright the hero looks kind of dead to me right now.
Yeah, for me, like my biggest concern again, is the laning phase again, because the move speed got lower, so it's easier for the enemies to abuse, and you can't really put that proper in the off lane as a secure lane anymore because it's so much easier to kill her now with the move speed.
That's true. And then another hero that I guess lost some flex potential because of the nerfs, Caudle. We would see more often than not in core as opposed to support, but with the nerfs to spirit form Synderen, it seems like it's definitely not seeming viable as core. Maybe as support, but just not as popular in general.
I think he's arguably the single hero that gets hit most by the small camp being removed in mid, because not only was he taking his own, but he was contesting the enemy one because he had this like 2000 range nuke that could steal that camp. I think this playstyle in Pro Dota was kind of pioneered by 9, and people were kind of blown away. Wow, this guy's just farming 2 small camps and mid lane. Now that you can't do that, you can't really win mid to the extent that you did before. You lose your, your pacing, and also overall, as we've talked about to death almost at this point, the pacing of the game being a little bit slower. Caudle is a timing hero. You fall off later on compared to a lot of other cores that scale better. So yeah, I think he's more of a support now. He got buffed a little bit with a level 10 talent. You can take 2-second lower Illuminate cooldown instead of 20 move speed, which I think is a support buff overall. But I think for the most part, I believe his win rate was like 33%, pick 12 games. So not very popular compared to in the previous version.
Yeah, it is a sad story for those 4 heroes, but I'm looking forward to the heroes that we're going to be seeing in this upcoming game. And if you want to participate in the conversation, be sure to use the hashtag ESL1. We will put you in the ticker down there. Last time, some people were looking forward to showing up in the arena and meeting new friends. I think it was Bambasino7 or something like that. I hope you found some new friends, and I hope we get more people to participate. Hashtag ESL1. And if you're just here in the crowd and you want to participate, do you want to see the Dota? Do you want to see the game now?
Start the Gamecasters.
Start the Gamecasters. Why are you just talking all the time? Fine, I will send you there. We're going to go to a break, and we will bring out Team Secret and OG right after this.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
catch up to me. You said it. The time just a man. There's a warning in the breeze. If you got it, then maybe you understand. When the slow tide turns to rush, does it make you any better? Turning noise back down to hush. In the morning, the night, from the darkness to light. Don't you know there's a promise there to keep? Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your It'll never catch up to me. You said it. The time just a man. There's a warning in the breeze. If you got it, then maybe you understand. When the slow tide turns to rush, does it make you any better? Turning noise back down to hush. In the morning, the night, from the darkness to light. Don't you know there's a promise there to keep? Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your
All right, let's put our analyst caps on. These teams have played a lot of games to get to this point, the lower bracket finals. OG versus Team Secret. It's a match we've seen time and time again in the Western European Division 1 DPC, and now it's time to see how it settles out on LAN. Because the first time these two teams faced off in this tournament, it was still kind of in the studio. You know, they didn't have the pressure of the LAN, they didn't have the stakes of being this far in the tournament. And at that point of the tournament, Secret proved superior, Cinderin. In that 2-1 series, they were able to pick up the victory, keep moving forward in the upper bracket. Has OG learned a lot in this long lower bracket journey that they've been going on?
I think so, and I think Secret also showed some weakness yesterday. I think OG can maybe take advantage of that. We've seen in both games against Aster that Secret's probably biggest strength right now is the first 10 minutes. So I think if you're OG, you try to make sure that you are stable there. Secret compared to Aster seems to drop the ball a little bit in that mid-game period where I think OG generally shines. To me, OG are not as much of a laning team as they're a team fight and mid-game team, with perhaps the exception of Amar, who's like a hyper-aggressive off-lane player. OG just tends to, you know, do fine in their lanes. Sometimes they have standout performances and win them, but generally they're happy with things just going even so that when they're later on in the game, their whole strategy can really come together.
And part of the reason why Amar finds so much success in the offlane is because we mentioned that he is given very oppressive heroes for that role. He'll be given his Razors, his Vipers, not so much this tournament, the Underlords, and then the Mars. You think it's worth targeting Amar, Adam, as Puppy looks forward to this next draft, or you do a little bit of everything, which seems to be the focus of most teams these days?
I feel it's worth it for Secret to target Amar because Rezo's hero pool is very different from him.
Okay.
So they're kind of not eliminating their own heroes from the draft, which is a huge benefit as a drafter in my opinion. I think he's also lost a few heroes that can be picked early. I think the only heroes playable right now that he still picks early are probably Mars and Timber, but even then they kind of pick it later into the draft. We saw the Razor, they lost to Secret with the first two Razor actually. And I think Fnatic had a game where they picked Razor early yesterday. They also didn't really have a lot of success with it. He kind of struggles in the lane against some of the carries in the meta right now. So I think Enigma is probably the biggest hero in this series, and because OG don't play it, but they have Taiga. I think that's something to keep in mind. So it's kind of a Enigma Bell, I think the first series will be at least.
Yeah, he's had that up his sleeve for a while and has not really shown it too much here. Maybe it's because what's being primarily focused on these days is the mid laners. We see these Bat Riders, we see these Queen of Pains, and we can see how these mid laners feel in the upper bracket versus the lower bracket. We got a chance to speak to BZM about his journey throughout this tournament.
It's definitely more comfortable to sit in the upper bracket because you need 2-3 matches to be in the finals, and when you're in the lower bracket you feel the pressure, but for some players it can be better because they play better under pressure, but I wouldn't say any one of us wants to play in the lower bracket.
Yeah, and Taiga in his very early interview said that lower bracket's more fun. You get to play more games. You just straight get to go to winners bracket finals if you lose, and then only do one elimination BO3 if your team's Secret. Where do you get that intensity? Where do you get the stakes? Where do you get the elimination thrill? And it's best to get that out of your system now before the international rolls around. But Team Secret, maybe they took the easy route, or maybe they're just better than OG because they were able to do it in the earlier series. Let's see if they can replicate it moving forward. What's on your mind for Team Secret looking forward? Do you think that these openings are the most critical thing we're seeing? The Tusks, the Enigmas that were mentioned earlier. What are you keeping your eye on, Winter?
Yeah, I think back to what Adam said, like he feels like maybe it's better for teams to focus their bans on Ama, but I on the other hand feel like I feel like OG has some weaknesses in the lane, and I would like to abuse that, so I would actually use my bans maybe to take out certain heroes that would enable their cores, their supports, the good laners, and try to pick good laners myself so I can abuse their cores more, and it will affect their mid game more. And I feel like that's going to be the direction that I'm going to be taking.
You talk about enabling supports, the ones that come to mind, especially for these two teams, would be like the Chens and the Ios. Shakers as well, yeah. And so which ones do you think? Because Puppy kind of does his own thing. Puppy was picking Dark Willow, Omni Knight, Ogre Magi. You think the support pool is going to overlap too much, Sind?
Not so much between Puppy and Chu. I think, so I was looking at it earlier, I think Puppy has played like one Clockwork, and then they've played a little bit of Chen. It's not too much overlap there is. I think it's a total of 4 heroes that they've both played, and Shaker's obviously not one of them because when Secret has that, it's on Zayat. I want to mention Undying, I think, as an honorable mention for this. I think OG started overall first picking that yesterday in their series against Fnatic, so it's definitely something to keep in mind going in here, that OG will perhaps prioritize as high as possible against Secret, specifically because the way I see Secret getting a victory is getting ahead in the start, and Undying is one of those like total lane negators in this patch where it's very hard to win against him in that safe lane.
Yeah, we saw Fnatic bring that hero to success, and they had a very quick grasp on what that hero was capable of. And you need to be quick, especially when a patch drops mid-tournament. But Puppy's been around for a long time. He's seen a lot of patches, but how does he feel about Dota and these patch latency in current 7.32?
I would consider that we have been kind of just solidifying what we've been good at. Like, I feel like Dota moves way too fast for you to stay in the past. It keeps on moving forward, things keep changing all the time, and you don't have time to look in the past. You have to constantly look in the frontier because things change, heroes change, and constantly the patch changes. If you're not there, ready to go with it, you're going to be behind. So there's no real atmosphere like looking back, honestly.
Yeah, I think a player with as much legacy status as him, Adam, is he on your Mount Rushmore? Maybe that's a very American reference, but is he in your top 4 all-time players, Adam, to have ever graced this game?
That's for sure. Puppy has, I think he's one of the oldest players, him and Kuro, who have been in the scene for so long, and they have constantly been at the top level. I think coming from someone who's like kind of stopped playing, that's something like I immensely respect. I think it's insane how many iterations of players he's been through, and he has still managed to bring them to TI, to the Tier 1 level, and I think that's something really special.
His longevity is unmatched, and when we put him head-to-head against a player who has not been on his stage very much, but who has taken a shining to these public showings, I guess. I mean, Chu, I'm gonna say it, he took me by surprise. We saw him initially in Dubai playing with this OG roster, but I wasn't expecting this kind of performance out of him, Winter. This has been leaps and bounds beyond what I was expecting out of a Seb replacement, as most people would see him as.
Yeah, they're both actually quite similar, Chu and Puppy. They are both position 5, but they are like a 4 in some of the games, and they take a lot more farm compared to your traditional position 5 heroes. They are always trying to be more impactful, a bit more greedy than usual. Taking the dead lane, pushing out especially on Puppy. You see him doing that all the time. So they're definitely quite similar in some ways, even though they don't play very similar heroes. Their hero pool is totally different.
I think it's also a bit of a testament to how OG operate as a team, right? That you can swap out a player like this and it just works, I think slotting in a player into a system that's so strong is a lot easier. And obviously Chu is also the coach of the team, right? So he's very familiar with that system, and even if perhaps, let's say, he's not mechanically at the exact same level as someone like Misha or Seb or whatever, I think overall his performance on this stage has been a very positive surprise for me as well. Like, I guess you could just, you look good in a good team unless you like really drop the ball, right? Because I think a lot of the time things are just set up very nicely for all of their players. They know what they're supposed to do. It feels like they kind of determine their tasks as the game progresses. Like, people know what their primary objective is on each hero. And that makes it a lot easier to, stand out and do exactly what you're supposed to.
Yeah, but then again, the stand-ins they've been using, it's not exactly they're using a stand-in like from outside of their team, it's within their team. So it's a lot easier compared to like another team that uses, like for Fnatic, they use a stand-in from outside. So it's not the same compared to when OG uses a stand-in.
Well, you were talking a lot about stand-ins, but I want to see them stand right there on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Team Secret and OG.
Able to get away. Frostbite though. Echo Slam in return. He's got interrupted. Chrysalis gets the crits onto the Earthshake, finishes him off. The Phoenix though, and he's going to continue to go for it. He jumps toward, missed the Astral Step though. Goes for the magic damage onto Amar. Can he finally finish off the OG offlaner? And he does.
The team felt quite hyped during the games, especially all these intense games that lasted more than 40 minutes. Everybody was so excited, and I honestly think Dota is just such a beautiful game.
So immediately onto Armel. Armar, he's trying to stay on top of Armel, but he can't quite see him into the tree. He managed to jump away. Jab dropping the vintage familiars onto Amar Yuragi. But Talos is getting low, and he can't finish off Amar. BCM's low as well. They're also low. Nobody can commit on the side of Fnatic. Armel, he gets caught up in a tornado, but Taiga has nothing to be able to stop him from blinking away.
So now we're gonna prepare them. Hopefully we are more prepared this time around when we play them. I would like to say Resolution, Puppy, Crystalis. I hope you guys are really prepared. But I'm coming for you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is over! It's time for some Dota, my friends!
We have a lower bracket final for you guys. Who's going to face Aster? You're about to find out. Raise those signs in support of your favorite teams.
That is right, my friends. As I said earlier, we have the best teams in Dota here. The final 3 coming out to show you the greatest strats, to steal in your pubs, you will not be successful. However, these teams certainly will be.
Yes, but Slacks, the greatest team in Dota is such a subjective idea. I mean, I know they've made it this far, but Slacks, who are these teams? Tell me.
Okay, well, you should have really read the brief. I mean, it's not hard to remember.
I never read the briefs. I just watch them on stage.
The first team to play in your semifinals. Ladies and gentlemen, you might have heard of this team before. Yes, that is right. You have been following them. You have adopted them to become your crown favorite. And I will not deny you from seeing them once more. I spoke to them in the back. They promised Centaur with the eggs. They swore to God. Ladies and gentlemen, bring them out. It's OG! Just being in their mere presence makes me feel like my MMR has shot up 1,000 points. My God.
Well, wait till we get even more MMR on this stage. Their opponents about to come out, one of the greatest teams in Europe, the only team that can make Crystal Maiden look like a carry.
Oh.
It's Team Secret!
Woo! Look at the hustle. Oh my goodness. It breaks my heart to see one of these iconic teams go home. Truly, it brings me just the utmost sadness. However, I cannot wait to see the bloodshed. Send one of these suckers home. Let's see some Dota. Malaysia, give it up one more time. Are you ready? Woo!
Let's see what the panel has to say about these teams as we send it over to them.
Take it,
Analyze the
Tsunami,
stage.
you beautiful bearded bastard!
That's right, my friend. I've got enough hair for the both of us, and I've got enough Dota for this entire arena of stars. We've got our lower bracket finals set up on stage. It's going to be Team Secret versus OG, and maybe it is going to be about this Crystal Maiden. As we have found time and time again, these first phases are critical. We alluded to it in our pregame. I kind of like your theory that Enigma might be the hero of the match, Adam. I think that this is a strong line of thinking that you're on.
Shaker, Willow, Enigma.
Willow's also on there.
There's 3 heroes. I think it's probably. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see a Puppy Shaker too. I think the hero has shown like it's really strong with the shard. Like you guys were talking about this 15-minute timing earlier. I think that's the reason we also see like this phase boost tiny like come into play, because you don't really get the dagger by 15 and you want to be involved. So I think heroes that like even Hoodwink that has this like strong shard timing, it's going to be really popular this patch, at least for now.
Yeah, I like that theory as well. Although it does seem like Willow has been exclusively a Puppy thing. I know way back in the old days, I famously remember Taiga coming back on a Willow with the Scepter in a Dream League Grand Final against VP, and that was a nail biter. But these days, I'm not really seeing it in any other hero, in any other team's wheelhouse.
Zaya is definitely a Willow player.
Yes. Well, I mean, for both teams, right? So on Secret, it's been Puppy playing Willow. Yesterday we saw Taiga play it, but Hoodwink, I don't remember the last time I saw OG really run Hoodwink. I could see Zayats play it, but the thing is, it doesn't really fit the bill for what they've been doing most of the time here. Most of their games, they've been playing him on those melee fours, whether it's Tiny, Shaker, or Tusk. They've been moving him around on those, and then having Resolution play a ranged offlaner. I think they're probably going to stick to their guns with that, as long as it makes sense at least. So we'll see if OG can force them in a different direction here in the draft. But for now, it looks like with these first 2 bans coming out, Secret should be able to get one of the melee fours that they want.
Yeah, which would they actually ban out their own Chen? I feel like Puppy would be more than Chen. Yeah, he'd ban Chen.
Yeah, like I said just now, you want to try to pay attention towards all this support that can enable the cores in the lane, like really strong in the lane, like Undying, Chen. Those are the heroes you want to look out for, because if you look at the cores, they play so many heroes. Like if I only have like 2 or 3 heroes to ban, I would rather ban the supports that are strong in the lane.
Right.
Then I can win the lane and reduce the impact of the core.
And that does seem to be OG's line of thinking as well. They take out the Undying, and Secret take out the Viper, take the other Amar hero right off the bat. It's Mars.
So I think what potentially is happening here from OG's side is that I was actually expecting them today to first pick Undying, so this is a little bit surprising to me. But if they do want to go and grab this Mars, well, banning out Undying as arguably one of the strongest lane 5s in the game against a Mars offlane hero seems like a really solid way of setting him up for success, with Viper also banned.
I feel like the Mars pick goes back to Enigma, because number one, you don't want to pick Undying into Enigma. It's like a bad matchup. Number two, Mars against Enigma, the lane's pretty free, so that's something OG might look to run. They might pick like some Shaker and put Yuragi in the off lane, like tri-lane, and leave Mars alone against the Enigma.
That's true. They inadvertently end up making Resolution's life kind of hard, because Rezo's been the only Batrider player on the side of Team Secret, and they banned that out. And the Mars, like you said, kind of preemptively deals with an Enigma pick.
Yeah, so Secret going back with the Tusk, but they are changing things up, with this Razor. I feel like it looks like a pretty decent adjustment towards the Mars, since the Enigma is not going to be as good. Or maybe we could still see the Enigma somewhere down the draft, but they do not want to show their cards too early. And Razor, again, it's something that we talk about time and time again. It's going to secure you at least one of the lanes.
It's a Crystallis signature, although Rezo did play it at least once this tournament, so some flex potential out of that.
Yeah, pop, a lane counter immediately, so they have 2 cores right away, something you don't see all the time. But obviously there's going to be a purpose here, so the Mars is going to be like a strong laner, the Corp is going to deal with the Razor, so a lot of emphasis on the lanes.
What you allow Secret to do by picking like this, though, is that you effectively, as Secret, can choose to ban 3 supports in this phase. You see 2 cores, so you can look at, okay, what supports are left that OG play that cause trouble for especially Zayats on the Tusk. I think a lot of Secrets' games that have looked really impressive have been when Zayats has popped off on roaming. So obviously he's going to have a hard time ganking a mid-quap. That's part of the appeal here for OG in picking this hero. It's hard for Tusk to get there, but maybe they can ban some of the safe lane heroes that Tusk would struggle against. So they're actually going to ban a carry first. They'll ban the Void, which would be one of the best safe lane carries at escaping the Tusk. Aside from that, Secret played against PA yesterday that they also couldn't really shut down in their lane with their Tusk, so maybe that's another one they could go for. Which makes my whole point about banning supports kind of moot if they're just going to ban carries instead. But there's a couple of supports that do look pretty great for OG. I think if you were Aster in OG's position here, you would definitely have your eyes on Winter Wyvern as a possibility. I think Phoenix could look really interesting too. You have Fire Spirits against Tusk in the tag team. You have the Mars Arena to combo with. So definitely some of these like really big teamfight AoE supports look very appealing to me right now from OG.
Snapfire.
Snapfire too. Yep, same logic.
OG is more of a Willow Phoenix team, I'd say, and Phoenix specifically is definitely good against Razor Tusk. Like, you can't really like run into their heroes. I think another thing Secret historically does is when you first pick a core against them, they always pick 3 cores that are good against you. So I expect the Mars to have a tough time this game. At least I think that's the approach that Secret will go for.
Yeah, but that's the thing about opening with a Mars, right? I feel like the hero doesn't care of being countered in the lane. He's still going to be able to function in the lane because he has that stable laning phase where, sure, he's going to be in a bad matchup, but he's not going to be going out of the laning phase with 7-3, 8-2, like having such a poor time. He's still going to be able to get something out of the lane.
Other possibilities as we look towards supports, I'm surprised that Tiny has been completely ignored so far this entire draft.
Minus 100 range toss.
You think that? I mean, I saw teams belligerently. I saw Bryle trying to pick it mid, and I don't know if he read the patch notes because he was struggling to get that toss in the mid lane. But as a support, maybe not as much of a nerf. You'll have creeps, you'll have another hero helping you in a side lane.
I don't know if it's very appealing for OG at least, and Secret already have the Tusk, right? Because if you're picking Tiny now as OG, your laning could end up being pretty awkward. Like Tiny Mars sounds like a pretty weird lane to play together. True. Secret will also ban the PA here, by the way, so they're banning 3 carries and effectively letting OG pick whatever supports they want. Which is interesting because I think OG in this position are most likely to pick 2 supports this phase and leave their carry for absolute last pick. So Secret could have had bans then as well. And that means Secret will ban probably 5 carries in these last 2 phases. New hero though.
Yeah, that's a greedy support, just classic Poppy things.
Yep.
I feel like the bans from Secret are pressuring OG to pick their carry now because there won't be many carries left that can lane against the Razor. I think Weaver is a hero that Crystallis showed in the group stage. I don't remember if they won that game, but it's definitely one of the heroes. Right?
Is there any reason why you're favoring a offlane Razor as opposed to the Crystallis carry Razor?
I just feel like the heroes in the pool that's left don't lane too well against the Razor right now.
Okay.
Like, Secret's kind of aiming to remove all the heroes as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because why would you use so many of the bans, to protect the Razor unless you're already planning to put the Razor on a higher priority in the draft? I mean, it could still change, but I'm just trying to understand the logic of what they're doing.
Well, it's like you said as well, Mars is going to have a stable laning phase no matter what. And if you're picking Razor this early on, you want to completely shut someone down entirely. And Faceless Void and Phantom Assassin may have been able to tolerate a Razor lane, but the list of carries who can do that is getting shorter and shorter. And OG, like you said, Adam, a Phoenix Willow team, how about both of them?
I feel like I'm not too sure if the Shaman pick, the reason for a Shaman pick is they expected the Phoenix to come up, and this Razor Shaman lane, there's like no stuns for Shackle. I think that's gonna be quite an issue for the lane.
I mean, could it be tossed with the Razor?
It could be, but if you see no stun in the lane, I think you want the Shaman there. I think on top of that, like Roshan, it's just easy Roshan, right? Just next squeeze. I think
it also gives them like a catch against the Corp. Because they don't really have, like, we were mentioning, the Corp is really good against the Tusk, you can't gang him. So with the Shaman, it definitely helps them kill the Corp in the laning phase.
I'm a bit concerned though for Secret based on how their series yesterday against Aster went, right? Where they got out team fought in the mid game. I think right now OG have the really insane amounts of team fight. Obviously it's also kind of pigeonholed into, they're very dependent on the arena. They can arguably maybe set up a little bit with their Willow, but I think maybe OG's last pick will try to cover that base from the carry position to maybe have some sort of other way of entering the fight. But I do like this a lot from Secret. I think they're identifying, okay, this is what OG have. It's a lot of like ball going together, casting all your spells in combination. They pick a combo breaker mid here with Invoker. Tornado EMP, make some space.
It's not just that, it's like the split push, You have this Invoker with the Forge Spirit, push the lane, then Shaman's going to be doing his thing. Because the opponent has so much team fight, you want to try to split them up on the map and catch them and kill them. And Invoker and Shaman can do that very well.
Do you think he's playing Exort or Wex?
Probably Exort, right?
Exort.
Okay. Exort got buffed. I think Wex is probably hard to lane against Quap. I'm not too sure how the matchup's going. I've seen most.
Yeah, it's harder to last hit.
Yeah.
And you have crazy Sunstrike set up with just Shaman as well on the lane.
Yeah, both Shaman and Tusk, really. Right?
Yeah.
When Tusk hits level 6 especially, you have 2 chain stuns with Snowball into Punch, so you are going to land that Sunstrike. So I can definitely see that. I just thought part of the appeal for Secret here with the Invoker is if they could pull off the lane stage with Quaswex, I think Tornado is just an incredible spell against everything OG has. For Secret, the name of the game is going to be getting BKB on Razor. I think you're going to need to have BKBs to navigate fights against OG's lineup. There's just too much garbage. There's a Mars Arena, there's Willow, Brambles, there's Terrorize. You're going to get slowed by the Phoenix, you're going to get slowed by the Quap, tons of magic damage. So that is the item for Secret. And I think they can get there because their laning stage, as we saw yesterday against Aster, was good. And I think this time around they have some pretty damn strong laning heroes. So especially if the Invoker goes Exort, that's one upside to that, is that will help the 2 side lanes a lot.
It looks like OG expects the Razor to be carry as well, just because of the lane setup, banning out Resolution's heroes.
Yeah.
So Morphling against Razor.
Morph looks like a really good hero for OG against the Razor. Secret also only have like one hex basically.
They do have a lot of burst though, right? If we are assuming the Invoker goes Exort, I think that's one of the heroes that Morphling can struggle a bit against, because if you do get caught in that hex, Invoker globally will deal insane amounts of damage for you to kill off Morphling. I'm looking a little bit more for OG. I'm looking more towards something like perhaps, I don't know if you can pull off a Jugger specifically because of the Razor.
And Tusk is also quite annoying for the Jugger.
Yeah. You might have to get a ranged carry.
I feel like OG needs...
yeah, Dusa is also actually
Dusa? Yeah, they kind of need like a frontline hero, right? For them to execute their draft.
True.
Someone to hit the tower, hold the Aegis, That's why I think it's going to agree with Sin on the Juggernaut. I think they do need that kind of hero. It's also hard for Invoker to land spells on the Juggernaut, right?
But then again, I feel like the Jugger is going to struggle against the Snowball and the Razor. He's still going to be somewhat countered when he's spinning around in the team fights. And I mean, the laning phase against, I'm not sure though. If it's a Jug, I might consider putting the Razor to lane against the Jug and to try to slow his game down.
Yuragi hasn't played it that much, but CK also still available in the pool.
Yeah, that's the thing is I feel like the laning phase is extremely important because OG has this kind of like heavy team fight lineup. If you don't do well in the lanes, you're gonna have a hard time, pulling your combos together.
A lot of the heroes we're mentioning, though, are pretty bad against Invoker, right? I think Chaos Knight, it's one of his worst matchups as Invoker. I think Medusa, her arguably single worst core matchup almost is actually Invoker.
I like Sven for OG.
EMP, Deafening Blast. She's a very immobile carrier that has to like waddle in and start attacking. Invoker can just control her for like 10 seconds.
Anti-mage.
I like Sven.
Anti-Mage actually looks good this time. I do think so.
Without last pick, don't Secret just picks Lara and the game's like super hard.
Yeah, maybe the lanes are too concerning, but against what they see right now, I think AM is actually good, but yeah, maybe it's too worrisome when you don't have the overall last pick of the
I like
draft.
Sven for OG. I think having another hero that just goes in, and the Sven can like, we saw, I think Pakas yesterday, he just recovered. The lane was like not the best, but he just came out top never for like 15 minutes. And speaking of OG's draft, like it's so hard to invade their jungle. Like how do you go in? I don't think Razor without BKB or Invoker can like walk into your jungle, so I expect like a Sven Alchemist, Bristleback kind of hero coming out from OG.
Alright,
there you
it's
go.
Alk.
That's the Alk.
I guess another option here was TA, but you probably don't want to do that against Razor.
Yeah.
I think that matchup might be too bad, because that's a hero that they've picked quite a bit for Yuragi. Do you, so what do you do as Secret here? Do you think you play the Razor into this, or do you pick, like, you mentioned Slardar as a potential issue if you were playing
Beastmaster with their lineup.
I think Beast against the Phoenix Elk lane is like free farm for Elk, and you can't, like I said, they can't invade their jungle with their heroes.
Yeah.
There's no hero they
Yeah, but Beast, okay, interesting.
Okay.
So DB is gonna allow them to play even like faster, and the lane I think is gonna be very same with Beastmaster, very easy.
Which one's which are you saying? Because Crystallis and Resolution have a history of both playing Dawn and Razor this tournament.
Since Rezo Dawn.
Rezo Dawn?
Yeah.
Okay, offlane Dawn. Setting the carry Razor up against that Mars. All right, Adam, which team are you taking for this Game 1 lower bracket final?
I think the Dawn pick means Secret wants to invade with their heroes, so Dawn's like supposed to push lanes, connect to them. But I think OG's team fight is superior, and if Secret goes in and they lose one team fight, the game's going to become really hard for them.
Winter?
So, OG.
Yeah, for me, the thing to watch out is the laning phase. Like Adam mentioned, the jungle invasion. If Secret is able to run them down in the, at least have some sort of advantage on the lane, it's going to be easy for them to invade the jungle. But if that doesn't happen, it's going to be very easy for OG to defend the jungle, and Elk is just going to get fed and win the game.
All right, well, let's see if Secret can bully their way into that OG jungle, or if OG are just going to run away with it with an Alchemist. It's game number 1 of lower bracket finals with Cap and SVG.
That's right, the best in the West are going to match up against each other for a chance to go to the grand finals against Aster. On one side, we have the new kings of Europe, OG, versus the old dog tyrant himself, Puppy, leading Team Secret. Who's your money on?
One side has the ball with the Phoenix Light, the other has the breaker of the Dawn. I think Secret's going to put up a pretty decent fight this time. Could we end up in a scenario where OG just scales to the late game with their Ags, Mars, with the Queen of Pain going ham? It's definitely possible. At the same time, like the panel was talking about, the early jungle invasion from Secret might be the key to victory here, abusing Dawnbreaker's early momentum. Tusk and Rasta could end up in a situation where Secret's trying to force early objectives with the Snakes. Is OG ready for the pace?
Yeah, it is a good question. I mean, we've already seen how these Alchemist lineups have put so much pressure. So much pressure on the teams in these lower bracket elimination matches. And, well, Secret, they're going to have to pick up the pace. They're going to need to shut down this Alchemist, and we'll see whether or not, as you said, the Shadow Shaman pressure is going to be able to limit the map and keep that OG Alchemist from getting out of control.
I mean, I'm surprised to see the Shadow Shaman in a game like this so deep in the tournament. Usually this hero is a very difficult hero to execute, especially if you haven't just been jamming it every series. To me, this game is kind of on Zayat. Does he get out of control? Can he scale into those late game fights? Can he get the Snakes going for the Roshan? This hero, if he falls behind off the lane or he gets a couple deaths in these fights, becomes a big liability. You're talking about the Shaman pressure. Well, sometimes he exerts it on his own team just through the sheer number of deaths you end up with. So I'm really looking to him to have a good game, and that's kind of this Dawnbreaker pick. They want to make sure that this Shaman has a good lane, a good early game. That's Resolution's job.
Fight for the bounties, but Secret a bit skittish there. They already had 2 secured, so no reason to dive in too deep. OG does secure the 2-2. Our mid matchup, first we're going to be seeing BZM versus Nisha. I mean, 2 of the best mid laners you can watch right now. Invoker versus Queen of Pain. We're already starting off with a Wex build.
Do you think he's actually going to go like a Wexort, so we're actually going to go back for that damage build, or do you think he's going to go for that faster paced Quas Wex?
No, I think you go Quas Wex here. You have a lot of scale between Razor and Dawn. You need to be able to control the early tempo and help the jungle invasion versus Alk. Ideally, you also want a Vessel in this game. Secret can set a pretty fast pace, and Nisha already has it queued up, so he's going to be playing a utility role, which I think is decent for his supports. You're looking at Shaman Tusk supports. You need cores that can go in and set stuff up for them, at least in the mid game.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of great combinations. I mean, Quas Wex Invoker is really good at protecting the Phoenix Egg. It's a great setup for Dark Willow. This is one of those older school combinations that just is a 1-2 punch that knocks out anybody.
I'm going to see how fast of a start Secret get on the lanes here. To me, Razor Dawnbreaker, Secret really wants to crush these side lanes, especially in the first few minutes here. Set up the regen trades favorably, get some momentum going. They also probably tried to get support matchups here as well. It pushed Puppey to this Tuskar. It's one of the downsides of the support duo. You kind of end up with this Tusk 5, which can be strong. He has the Razor to help him. At the same time, OG matching this Phoenix versus that hero, getting the attack speed debuff that they want.
Yeah, I feel like they got kind of the answers, right? Like Mars is probably one of the better melee heroes to deal with Razor. He links you, you spear him back. The Phoenix gets the attack speed slow on both Razor and Tusk. It feels like OG got a pretty decent answer to what should be like usually a very dangerous lane.
Yeah, I think OG silings are pretty strong here, and that's a good sign for them. It's going to limit some of the early pressure that I feel like Secret wanted to get off the bat. Like you said, Equilibrium bottom is just so deep for Amar. He's pretty much free farming. Gonna have to find something with this level 3 Razor timing, and Puppey is giving almost full XP to him, making sure they can hit that as fast as possible.
Puppey does manage to get off the easy camp pull, so that'll help pull that creep wave back and maybe put the Razor in a better position to pressure Amar's Mars. Top lane seems to be going very well for Resolution. 13-1. Yuragi's right there next to him, but it seems like both cards are kind of free farming. Zions does manage to get a hard camp pull here. OG's going to try and interrupt it. Yuragi loses sight. Unstable Concoction. Ooh, barely gets it off in time. Just a small glimmer of resolution. They're still going to turn around and do some serious damage to this Alchemist.
There's no mana for Hammer.
Yeah. Oh, pops the mango now, but I think they could have had the kill if he went for it earlier.
100%. Just miscommunication there for Secret on this dual lane top. Missing out on a huge kill. That's exactly what they want to do. Draw the Alk deep into the jungle there to have to contest the pull. That's when the kill threat opens up.
Ooh, the spear was already used, and they've already kept the static link on him, but the attack speed slow does go to work. Without that, looks like Amar was probably going to fall.
So Secret striking back here in the laning phase, and Nisha's been doing pretty good mid. Even CS versus Queen of Pain, where traditionally she can dominate the early levels, and I say that, BZM, he's just going 0-2-2. Just playing the lane to farm. This is a matchup where Invoker can burn the Quap's mana, make it very annoying for her, and abuse the Quas regen to keep in the lane versus Dagger. So I don't blame BZM going this build.
Yeah, I feel like the last time, I think we saw a matchup earlier where we saw a maxed out Shadow Strike against Invoker and the Quas Wex. I mean, the regen was just too much. Can they get the chains done off here? Yuragi, he's not going to be able to get out the Unstable Concoction,
Suicide,
but he kills himself. Disaster for Secret. They well set up, making sure that Yuragi couldn't get off the Unstable Concoction, but it plays against them in the end.
And that's first blood to Taiga as a result. That first kill botch really hurting them up here. Now they're going to feel it. A huge amount of gold injection for this Dark Willow, not to mention some extra levels. Not what Secret wanted out of this dual lane. Again, last pick Dawnbreaker. This was designed to destroy this lane, give Shaman a good start. They're still free farming, but
That's
not
so
exactly what they wanted.
And he played it so well, but they get punished for it, you know?
Sometimes the universe does not reward you.
Yeah, it conspires against you sometimes.
That's just good karma for later, you know?
Could be. Nice Unstable Concoction timing there. Reading Resolution, hitting a mid-Starbreaker like that. And Rezo now throwing out the hammer. That's a lot of mana expended for very little damage done.
And part of that kill attempt was, like you said, they went the early Hex on Shaman too, so he doesn't have Ether Shock. One of the higher damage early nukes, especially if you're going to play this lane as a kill lane, which is, I think, what they were had in mind going into it. So it's going to set them back a little bit here. Now all of a sudden, OG just pouring on the harass, being the aggressors in this lane.
Healing South. Resolution had plenty of mana too, so we'll see what happens. They come back, Cold Snap into the EMP, nice burnout. Nisha putting himself in a really nice position to win this lane now.
Yeah, he is the highest net worth on the map. For Kwasok and Invoker this early is incredibly nice. Now he's just looking for the earn charges. Potential to TP into these other lanes and turn kills around. The upside of this matchup is you keep Quap's mana low. BZM's gonna have to blink to base here. His reactionary ability is gonna be out of the question for a while, which also helps Secret potentially play more aggressive on these side lanes. They're not worried about this Quap coming in and turning something around.
Got the Hex.
Exactly like
Chain
this.
stun into the Starbreaker. He does get out the Shadow Realm, so they're going to miss a little bit damage here, but he's very low when he comes back out. Not low enough, though. Zayat's unable to go for the kill. BZM actually opts to TP back to the mid lane, I guess without level 6. Be a little silly to try and go for a side lane gank.
There's just no pressure either. These Secret cores are super tanky and super high HP. Not a lot of chip coming out. In fact, it's the other way. Already we see Zayat's scouting the jungle, looking for the bounty. No aggressive vision out yet, but you have to believe that Secret's thinking about where this Alka's gonna go after the lane, because he cannot stay up here for too much longer.
Yeah.
Dawnbreaker's out leveling him. This hero's incredibly strong with the 5 to 7 timing.
And it's not like bottom lane's winning well enough that OG can make that swap over to the Alchemist into the enemy safe lane. So they're definitely going to need to have some sort of jungle areas available for him. Chrysalis, Spear. Will get a little more damage off of the Fire Spirits, but he doesn't have any regen coming in. He just now buys it, so this is going to be a little bit of time where Amara is going to free farm.
All right, here's the first mid rotation. BZM looking bottom. Sticking around the area, Arcane Rune popped, so he really wants to use the Sonic Wave, get the maximum value here. Crystallis just walking to base. Reads the move, doesn't want to risk it. Nisha pushing in mid, trying to bring this Quap back. And it looks like Yuragi is, he's going to think about some jungling now.
Runs his way back, picks up that healing salve, and heads back to the lane. He had that really nice defensive ward that spotted some of those rotations, so feel content now that BZM showing himself mid.
Yeah, Seeker was well aware of what this Quap potentially wanted to do.
Nice hit, full snap into the tornado, off the EMP burn. Again, as you said, oh, snowball forward. They're going to be able to stay on top of Amar. Now there is still the Fire Spirits, and they lose sight of Amar. Once again, his Phoenix making such a huge difference. And some of the buffs may be playing a factor. It seems like the Fire Spirits are just always up, always ready to go.
Zayat's doing some economic damage, blocking some camps, lurking in the background.
Oh, Yuragi, one-on-one against Resolution, but the Dawnbreaker being the level 6, he just now got the Chemical Rage, and that may actually bail him out here. Resolution's gonna keep chasing, but it looks like Yuragi is long gone. Zayat's, meanwhile, trying to juke it out. BZM's gonna catch him eventually here. He did what he could, he blocked some camps, he drew some attention, but ultimately he will die to the mid laner of OG. A second kill.
I can't help but feel like Secret's missing a little of these opening windows. I think Yuragi getting out of this lane with only that early death, which was again a deny, amazing for him. He is super farmed without even having to go to the jungle.
And look at Chrysalis's farm. I mean, he is bottom,
yeah,
way bottom of all the cores.
I mean, he had to walk to base once. He had to come back. He's not been CSing too well versus the Phoenix Harass. Large carry differential already created for OG, and once again, Nisha hasn't been able to find momentum. Ideally, with this Quasflex Invoker, you want to fight around him, draw OG into the EMP, into the tornado early where those spells destroy supports. Instead, it's kind of been all focused on the side lanes, and now Secret smoking Invoker, trying to get these earn charges online.
This is a must-win scenario for Team Secret. They need to be able to get one of these earn charges. They didn't really want Taiga, but they may have to just accept this kill.
Defensive ob.
See if he can hit the right kind of tornado. No, they're going to give up on the kill.
And they might even get this D-ward later that Zayat's just placed. The vision for OG. Immaculate in this early game.
Ragi stuns himself. He actually drops the Seeds of Serenity to heal him up a little bit more. They do manage to catch Taiga in the back. Tornado EMP burns him out. See if they are able to go for a tower dive here. We can see OG, they actually don't have too many TPs available, but it doesn't seem to matter.
I almost wonder if they need Tusk in these moves instead of the Shaman. Like, traditionally, the Shaman can play greedier and take mid. Instead, Puppey is.
They're going to go for now. Dawnbreaker, the Shackle combination. This is going to be a lot of damage, but Yuragi, well, he eventually goes down. Finally, they get the earn charges. It took a while, but Secret managed to get the game.
Nisha coming online here. He went Treads looking to Witchblade, so he will build into the right-click damage. help him scale a lot in this game.
Do you like that over rushing the Spirit Vessel? Because, I mean, it is so effective against an Alchemist like Phoenix lineup.
I think the damage is still comparable. Maybe he feels like they have enough right click. I mean, Vessel is a very risky item in this meta. If you don't hit it at the right timing, you don't have the charges on top, and then you don't get the fights, it's a lot of stuff that has to go your way. So on paper, it sounds great. In actuality, with this start that Yuragi has, you're probably not going to get it at some crazy good timing. Like, let's say this Alk got destroyed in lane. He's forced to jungle early. He's in the lowest net worth position. Then suddenly, I think this Vessel becomes more interesting. But I can't blame Nisha for just playing for the bigger scale, the bigger right click, because again, you're playing versus OG. It's going to be a long game likely. They have massive team fight. They have 3 cores that can all scale with physical damage. Amar with his triple bracer build likely will pick up Ag Satanic at some point.
Yeah, you gotta keep in mind that this is not your normal Mars. This is an Amar Mars. This is a guy who's gonna play to carry. Where everybody else goes blink daggers, refreshers. Amar turns back. Nice snowball pickup. A beauty from Puppey. Will that be enough to save Chrysalis? They still have the Terrorize into the Brambles, though. A nasty, sticky situation for Team Secret. Puppey on the run, but he'll get run down by BZM with the Arcane Rune.
Another beautiful Arcane Rune put to use here. The Blink build doing severe damage, just getting multiple screams off, and of course pushing them through the Brambles. The exact type of connection OG wants with this early arena. The trade-off is Secret will force OG out of their jungle, Yuragi into the triangle. But that's not the worst. This Alk is happy to pretty much farm anywhere as long as he's not getting Dawn ulted.
Look at the range of that. It's actually because he hit the wall and bounced forward that Puppey was able to pick him up in the snowball. It's a nice move, but ultimately doesn't change the fact that they brought so much firepower to this fight that a good save doesn't make the difference.
And this OG firepower is going to be a problem until Secret has BKBs. Like, these supports are insanely high damage, especially with Arena to lock heroes in place. You have Co-op ult coming in on top. Secret's best timing in this game is going to be the BKBs on their cores, at least tanking up a little bit. That's when they can really
nice
take
shard
the fight.
block in. They have the Dawnbreaker ults coming out as well. They're going to drop the egg here on the side. Now, it is going to live. We'll see if he's able to scooch on out of here, though, Chu. See if he dives in the right direction. The rest of Secret are trying to corral him in. Puppey is farther up. If he goes up the river, he may still be caught. He's going to go for it up the river, but there's Resolution with the hammer ready to go. They do catch Chu. So a second kill off of that rotation from Team Secret.
And just nowhere to dive. Decent kills for Secret. I think anytime they can get this Tusk in these types of skirmishes or ganks early, it's going to be good for them because the lockdown is pretty nice for OG's heroes outside of this Quap Blink. Can set a lot up for this Invoker. It's just pummeling mid here.
Yeah. Apparently, you know, they're in the position. Bottom lane, might as well sweep into mid and put some pressure there. They know the Alchemist is farming, so they got to get something in return for it. Another Tornado EMP that is really on point. BZM burned down a fair amount of his mana.
You know, the other benefit of this Invoker build is he goes Treads, he goes his Blitz Knuckles into the Witchblade. Gives him a lot of extra attack speed that might just randomly kill this egg at some point when you don't expect it.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because they don't have the best egg hitter, right? Who's it going to be this game? I mean,
yeah, it's not great.
Razor late game when he gets some attack speed through Hyperstone builds, sure, but in these early skirmishes, it kind of comes down to Nisha pummeling in the extra right click, so that's the other benefit of this build here. It's kind of cool to see. And now Witchblade up, Earn charges online. He is the strongest hero on the map.
Look at this, OG. They've already scanned this move out. So they try and go into the jungle. Once again, maybe they collect some of these camps that Yuragi was trying to farm, but the Alchemist himself will continue to live, and he's going to have a very fast Radiance.
Puppey
Taiga spotted, Shard. Get the vision. Taiga has the Shadow Realm. He'll just try and delay his own death as long as possible. Thinking about the Terrorize, but honestly, is it worth it?
Nah.
He's surrounded. There's no way out, so keep that cooldown for now. Oh, BZM taking a lot of damage from Chrysalis. Can't quite get the kill, though. Arena, Spear, does land, but Dawnbreaker Ultimate's going to be able to counter that, stunning the aggression. He's going to be able to get out a really good egg onto Chu. He'll die, but at least maybe he can save Amar. No, he's caught inside the shackle. Syas came in from behind. They're going to collect both of those kills. A three-man pickup for Team Secret on both sides of the map.
Beautiful use of Solar Guardian. I was about to say Secret can abuse the map pressure with this global core that can come in, give him the extra damage and sway these skirmishes. This is a downside for OG. They really want to get the 5-on-5s, especially with Alex Radiance, BKB type timings. You get caught out in the numbers, suddenly Secret can bring in this Dawnbreaker and destroy you. In these 3-on-4, 3-on-5 scenarios. abusing the tank ability of this Razor too. I mean, man, he almost solo killed Quap and then still just tanked up all these spells. Not even close to dying with the extra heal.
Yeah, Strength Treads, Ogre Club. I mean, it was a nice egg, but again, it was kind of like that situation earlier for Secret. Too many heroes.
Yeah, and speaking of heroes, Zayats.
Oh, good kill. They can get it. Looks like the Phoenix is going to be changed on down. The Tornado, a little awkward there, and unable to land the Starbreaker, but the EMP burns out Taiga before the Terrorize can go through.
Another numbers engagement for Secret here. Accelerating the map pressure, still defending their towers. This is where you have to be careful not to lose too many fights, because the next Shaman wards could mean Roshan here off the back of 1 or 2 kills.
Nice read there from Puppy. Catching the ward on the high ground. Rezo needs a way back down.
At this point, Secret wants to convert on this top tier 1. It'll open up the entire OG jungle permanently with the vision they can control. If they can defend bottom, I think they would have been very happy to do so, but with Donald on cooldown, Amar will probably just gobble this extra net worth up.
No surprise, he is going to be rushing the early BKB. No Blink Dagger from him.
All right, this is a huge smoke from OG. This is Alp trying to get involved here.
Yeah, they're going to run straight into Zayats. A quick, fast kill for him. So he just picks up that kill, goes right back to farming. Team Secret, I think they still want to be involved. They still want to get some fights going.
Ideally, if you can fight on this Alk right now, Secret's very happy to do so. He will die incredibly fast. He went this Blink build, so he's very squishy if the Secret cores get on top of him, especially with this max tag team that Puppy went. This is a core burst-oriented build. Helps the, I mean, even benefits from the Nisha attack speed build that he's gone.
Dive over through the side. Tornado and Shards are both going to miss. Bit off the mark. The Blink forward does hit the unstable concoction onto Chrysalis. Uragi and BZM just poking at Team Secret. Not sure if they could fully commit or not. They do have a big team fight spell. The Terrorize and Egg are both ready to go. So it all just comes down to kind of like the initiation, whether or not these big spells succeed.
I think Secret wants to close in on these BKBs, and that's when they can force the Roshan. I'm curious if they feel like they can force it before that for so much magic AoE from OG. It's a risky play. Zayats is like sitting in the pit thinking that he wants to do it. I mean, they have Tusk and Rasta. Yeah, he's going to start it up.
Doing it all by himself.
The upside to all of these Secret moves is, again, they can have Resolution just farming the lane here, keeping up the pace. They're not losing too much on the map, and he can always join the fight. That said, the Snakes are dead.
Yeah. That move used to be more effective. Doesn't work the same way anymore.
Yeah.
Now Roshan one-shots the wards.
I mean, to be honest, I think they can Rosh there. I don't think OG was even close to contesting.
No, it seemed like they were going to give it up even if they knew.
All right, weird play from Secret. Snakes on cooldown. Think about it again in 90 seconds, I guess.
I guess so. Give him some time to maybe farm up that Blink Dagger, though not if he gets conned by BZM. They are right next to each other in this jungle area.
He has the Hex
He's
and the Shackle with
actually
Donald.
get the initiation first. He doesn't have the Serpent Warrants. The Dawnbreaker ultimate is going to come in, but the Blink Dagger from Uragi saving BZM's life. They do throw out the arena. That's going to catch Puppy inside. They're going to pull Puppy into an awkward place here. May still be saved, though. Uragi, he can blink forward. BZM can do the same. And OG, they've got enough heroes to ensure a kill on the captain of Team Secret. Meanwhile, Team Secret just kind of chill. They're farming 3 different lanes right now, so.
Race to the BKBs here.
Yeah.
And OG kind of know it. They know they're incredibly strong in the 5-on-5 before Secret has these items. Even without their out BKB, it just doesn't matter. Amar has his 2,000 HP, triple bracer. Forcing the issue here.
Low-level hammer will not stall out OG at all. You're just going to focus down this mid-tower. Secret now here, going to show up, start putting some damage onto Uragi. There's the egg out. Chrysalis doesn't want to be able to commit to this. He stole a lot of damage from that Alchemist, but fighting into the egg is just far too dangerous.
That's going to be his BKB down. Another kind of awkward engagement by Secret here that OG is happy to take and then just go back to farming. Grievous greed's your friend.
Yeah, maybe it could have been a lot different. Maybe the Serpent Wards was up, or maybe they get there before the tower goes down. But it seems like Team Secret just slightly off in this timing and execution.
I mean, I also think their best spell to connect on these engagements is the Ice Shards. Like, this is the one spell that can lock someone in.
Yeah.
force him into an awkward position where Razor and Invoker just pummel out the damage. That said, it's not that easy as a 5 Tusk to just run in and get the perfect shard. And that's why Puppey is just rushing Blink. So the double Blinks for these Secret supports, it's going to be a very important window that they're going to have to hit a big fight into the Roshan off. They're both about 300 off this timing. It's a scary game to be blinking into Phoenix and Willow.
Yeah.
Co-op bars, like there's so much counter initiation from OG. At the same time, it is necessary. Who else is starting these engagements? I don't think any of the Secret cores just want to run in. When we saw Crystallis do it, what does it do? Almost nothing, right? So
it's just immediately an egg in the back line. If there needed to be, they could have thrown out the arena, which would have blocked some shots from the Razor. I mean, it's always tough playing these ranged cores against the Mars arena walls.
I think OG has a window here, and they're going to smoke up. Still knowing that Secret is away from the 2 BKBs on Invoker and Dawnbreaker. They have a very nice opportunity to just take the fight with the Dark Willow Phoenix spells that will destroy any 5-on-5 engagement.
Well, looks like they could be getting a kill on Puppey. It's not really what they want out of the situation, the 5 position.
Oh, he's trying to break it here. In fact, Secret smoking back themselves. Blink on Shaman. And he maxed Hex, so his jump is very powerful.
They were really hoping some big core would show in the mid lane that they could kill, but no luck there.
They ping this Quap top. Smoke is running out. I don't know if they're going to get here in time.
Yeah, it seems a bit of a stretch, especially since OG is actually kind of connecting to this Queen of Pain. They're going to pop out Blink Dagger into the Dawnbreaker ultimate. They do have Taiga somewhere nearby, but he can't get there in time. In fact, he was stalled out by Puppey.
A nice find. Can they convert anything off the back of it? That's going to be the big question. Does Secret feel strong enough to go into this Roche pit? I think you do. You have BKB on Invoker. You have this Dawnbreaker shard, which acts as his own BKB. Shaman wards around 2. Protect them this time.
Yeah, with the tag team and the Shaman wards, surely it's enough. 20 seconds until the Queen of Pain is back up. They're going to go for it.
OG might contest this. Their heroes are incredibly strong around the pit.
They've got the Terrorize, they've got the Egg, they've got big team fight combo here. The Bramble's going to go out, catching 2 already. The Shards looking to block in some heroes. Crystal's going to back away. Rocky jumps forward though, goes for Resolution. Does have the BKB, he puts it out on the Egg. High ground Egg as well. Secret not able to deal with it at all. They're stuck inside the arena as well. Amar soaking up the damage. A beautiful Terrorize combo up, but a snowball save. He picks up everybody. Does Sonic Wave on 5. BZM comes through to wipe Team Secret out of this one. Resolution's going to be chased down. Nisha's caught by Yuragi as well. Inside of the Brambles, 1 by 1, they will get chased down. OG losing nothing for that team fight.
God damn, that was the Sonic Wave of the tournament right there. Sends them all straight into the abyss. High ground Egg. Nobody can even get close to contesting that. The arena locks him in at the end. It was a beautiful snowball save. Secret just getting caught between 2 objectives here. Roshan in the team fight. OG stalled out long enough for their Queen of Pain to come back for that dire outpost. A beautiful team fight, abusing Sunray on the tanky heroes to just stall out these Radiant BKBs. And suddenly, you're all trapped in with them instead of the other way around. Terrorize into the wall, into the snowball.
And then the Sonic Wave. I mean, Puppey with the beautiful snowball saves, but it just doesn't matter. OG set that up far too well.
I mean, he's just saving them for the highlight reel at this point. 5-man wave. You don't get a better clump than that.
Really well done by OG, as you said, using the tankiness of their heroes to stall out the fight long enough for BZM to get there in the first place. I mean, the whole reason we thought Secret could Roshan was the fact that BZM is dead for a solid 20 seconds.
I agree. I still feel like that was a little hesitant by Secret. Like, if they all go in the pit, they all start hitting it. Sure, it's super risky, but if you're willing to take that risk in the first place, you have to commit one way or the other, and they'll pay a heavy price here. That's Aegis on Amar. And Ags up as well. Secret on the run for sure now.
Still, nice reaction from Puppey when he strapped himself to the shard. Not that he would have lived anyway. It was a very fast snowball timing by him. He gets some more dust out of him. Actually got 2 dusts out of OG with that Glimmer Cape pickup. So no Blink Dagger for him. Why do you think he opted away from that initiation?
I think he just doesn't want to jump into what OG has, to be honest. I wouldn't either. Like, you're jumping in, punching this Mars, and then you're automatically dead almost.
This is really cool. They've got the Aghanim Scepter on Mars, and they gave him the Aegis as well. Up against 2 ranged cores.
Gave him. I think he took it, but
Mar basically saying that he's going to have Bulwark on all the time, so the Razor and Invoker, half the time they're going to be hitting this Mars whether they like it or not, so better for him to have the extra life.
I mean, hell, he's got the Brigand's Blade too.
Terrorize catching a Dawnbreaker. Rezo sleeping. Yuragi's going to be able to chain the stun. And BKB going on, but he only needs one more hit. He gets through the BKB. Meanwhile, Secret was set up behind OG in this bottom lane, but with heroes, they still don't have enough. The A goes down, they have to retreat, they're gonna try and re-engage now. They have to win this fight, but up against this tanky Amar, it's so hard to be able to deal with them. The Bulwark is going to work on Nisha. Sentry drop, Taiga just gonna do it with the physical damage. BZM flexing in the end, and look at Chrysalis. You can't run away from Amar. He's gonna get you with the Bulwark. Yuragi shows up towards the tail end, another 5-man wipe. OG completely outplaying Team Secret at this point. This is looking like a game one done and dusted, Avery.
There's just not enough damage in the tank. Amar is way too strong. Not to mention Yuragi has a full AC at this point. The one saving grace for Secret could be a numbers advantage off the Donald, but when he dies first, that fight becomes absolutely impossible. This has got to be almost the game here if Secret lose one more fight. I don't see them coming back in a situation where all of the OG's cores are scaling this hard.
Yeah. They're going to poke, and maybe they'll burn out the Aegis of Amar. Nope, he's going to back up before they can get to him.
I mean, hell, Amar isn't even going Blink. He's just going straight Satanic.
Yeah, he doesn't need these sort of mobility items because at the end of the day, he just wants to walk in, throw damage around. Dented Sunstrike. They really want to take away this Aegis, but not going to happen. He's going to get a big heal and a minute and a half left. They can still force some more fights. They could go straight down mid if they want.
I would take any fight Seeker gives you at this point. You still have Aegis, like you said, and Egg coming up in 20. No reason not to take a fight, even potentially without ults. OG very strong. As long as their Alk doesn't somehow just get full Hex bursted. I mean, even if that happens, I don't know, this Mars just does so much damage.
Yeah. Look at him, just casually taking down a tier 2. What are you gonna do about it, Secret? Bramble into Terrorize, forces out the BKB. He doesn't have the TP, you're right, uh-oh. Crystallis, as long as they keep the vision on him, he is in big, big trouble. They're just gonna kite him out, slow him down with Shadow Strikes, Brambles, bit by bit. Crystallis gets picked apart. Back over to mid lane. Oh, that spear so close to landing, but the unstable concoction is there. Nisha popping his BKB, Resolution coming through. They do have the stuns onto the Alchemist, but they don't have the damage. Nobody is doing a damn bit of damage to OG at all. Snowball going out, Resolution slowed down by the Bulwark. He jumps over the wall thanks to the hammer, but Puppy's gonna be left behind, and OG just keep pushing forward. They can wait for this Aegis regen if they want.
I don't think they're waiting for anything. Spartan Soldier's way too strong here.
There we go, full health, back into it.
I don't even know how you win a fight. You gotta hit some kind of 3 or 4 man meteor combo.
Yeah, like they don't even have like these big AoE team fight spells that could potentially turn a game. It's just really that, as you said, the meteor. But they have no way to force them to group up.
I mean, the problem is, again, their jump is on the supports. It's just so hard to jump into this lineup.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way Zayats is going to get a full shackle on a core without somebody dying in the process. Pretty much means you have to find a numbers advantage. You have to find OG alone, out of position. Not a lot of map to do it with.
Zayats can't even get a D ward off, not with the Mar around.
I mean, he's also been using this Ag's Bulwark to de-ward hills and stuff. They give him gem a lot of games. It does give some flying vision for these cliffs. Pretty nice use of the item. Cement the map control.
Team Secret, you kind of have to just go for split pushing stuff at this point. And maybe try and contest Roshan. I don't know, we'll see. Next timing for them, probably Refresher on the Razor, which, I mean, Crystallis is getting close to. Still not convinced that's going to be able to make the Alchemist or the Mars squishy enough to kill. Good pick off here on Puppy.
Not sure I'm convinced either, but is pretty much going to be their last
hurrah.
Yeah, their last ride. trying to win it off the back of the double BKB, double Eye of the Storm. Again, if you can get any of these OG cores shackled alone with the Razor pumping in the damage, they will die. It's just OG are aware of this, and there's no reason to split up.
Yeah, they're going to jump on Yuragi now. They have the
Alright,
Dawnbreaker
here's
coming
the
in
out.
as well. They can do a lot of damage very quickly. OG did not stay grouped up enough. They lose their carry, but they are going to be able to collect some heroes in return. Nisha actually running in, trying to, okay, yeah, immediately TP's out, but the damage is too much. The Sonic Wave bursts through him. Nisha did not respect that.
That's that Axe Mars damage as well. He just sits there and right-clicks you. It adds up in these fights. Like, all these fights, it's deceptive how much damage this hero does.
Yep.
It's not as flashy. It's, you know, not as pretty. Gets the job done. Lamar just walking this game through. Every tower, every hero. That is the pick-off that Secret can find. This Hex Shackle is very powerful. It lets them combo all their damage. If there's no BKB, you will get shredded. Then you're still stuck in this team fight scenario, which is just still impossible at this point.
Yeah, it really is. Nisha realizing too late they could not take this team fight. They didn't have the Razor or the Tusk there to start.
All right, Resolution trying to build into a Bloodthorn here. I think they need it. They need the damage. They need the extra single target burst here in the windows of which they can output it.
Yeah, as it stands. As you said, without the shackle combination, all these OG heroes just, they live too long. Secret just runs out of damage, runs out of time. So they need something that's really going to amp up that single target. At the same time, OG, I mean, they've got so many items. Amar's now trying to build into a Desolator after a Satanic pickup.
Right, the other problem is OG can just play for Roche, which is spawn. They can play around Dire Outposts and abuse buybacks. Like, these single target jumps from Secret are great if you get a core, but that guy can just come back in the fight with the extra net worth they have. Taiga poking them, trying to start the engagement.
He's going to be caught in the brambles immediately. Crystals are going to come in from behind. They've already taken down Taiga. A decent start with a refresher going out. He starts draining away the damage from Amar, but look at Amar. He's just challenging the Razor. He doesn't care. With the Supernova there as well, they can protect the egg. All of Secret are going to have to retreat from this one. The Invis Rune pickup, no, denied. The Arena's going to catch him. The Spear will ensure his death. Crystallis, the carry of Secret goes down. Nothing's left in the tank now for Secret. OG, they could just go down the lanes, maybe force another lane of barracks.
How the hell do you kill this Mars?
I don't know. I have no
I'm
clue.
just watching this hero go through with the level 20 talent, 80% front reduction. He just sits there.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to kill this hero. I'm going to be honest.
Can't let him get to this point. BCM actually blinking forward, so Puppey thinks it's an opportunity. A snowball punch, a decent chain stun. They hit the Starbreaker as well, but he's too tanky. Now they're going to get caught. Now Resolution, he's going to be the one paying the price. Turn around, Science actually dropping the wards. The Dawnbreaker buyback, this is the last hurrah. It's all in from here. Starbreaker trying to go through Yuragi. The Bulwark is right on top of him. Does not protect Yuragi, but it does do the damage. Resolution is slowed down. Nisha's taking a lot as well. He goes in, Fizz trying to get away. Amar turns around 180 to kill Puppey. The Phoenix almost going down, but a pin catches Science. Not able to finish off that Phoenix. A Sunstrike, it does land. A triple for Nisha. Team Secret getting a little scrappy with it, throwing all these buybacks to just ensure a 3-for-3 trade-off in the end.
Triple buyback, at least you get the team fight win. You get some morale, you get a tip out of Chu for the beautiful Sunstrike. Again, look at the damage in this fight. 8,500 from this Mars. This hero is invincible, and at the same time, he is destroying you. There's absolutely no answer for the Spartan soldiers in this game. Nisha doing his best.
Oh, they're going to walk right into him. Snowball, delay a little bit. They actually do pick him up. They got to stay away from the Mars. Again, even if you drain his damage, Crystallis, he's got to keep his distance. They're going to hit the arena. They're going to be able to get the Bedlam on top with the BKB being gone.
All right,
Crystallis is so susceptible to this magic damage. The Meteor on top of Taiga is actually going to be able to run him down. Amar's left alone here. But can they actually kill him?
It's a god. Are you that strong?
Look at him just walking away from 3 heroes of Team Secret. They cannot deal with the god.
The god of war, too powerful. Who is the god killer in this game?
Yeah.
There isn't one.
Not for this game anyway. Not a death zone with Daedalus is what he's decided on.
I mean, they gave him the double damage. I think even OG, they're afraid of Amar themselves.
Do not take anything from Amar at this point. Nice pick off here if they can get it. Nisha does do the damage. Sunstrike going out. Kitsu as well. Picking off these supports in their darkest hour.
What the hell, man?
They are giving them just a little bit of light to work with. The Roshan's dying fast though, and Team Secret aren't going to be able to get there in time. The spoils of war go to the Mars.
The long-range maestro right there, man. Just picking them off from afar. Putting both supports in the grave. At least Secret's getting something off this, and now they have a jump.
They're going to jump out of Uragi. They've done this before. They can burst them, certainly, and they do get him. The Sonic Wave goes out, but it doesn't do enough. Puppy's pushed over to the side. They start threatening him. Walrus punch up in the air. They have any stuns? They don't. Nisha still on cooldown. Throws out the tornado, but it doesn't land. Secret, I mean, they know they've got OG kind of stumbling backwards right now, but if they let OG get back to their 5-man, it could just be the end of the game. They kind of have to keep hitting them.
I mean, this is beautiful gameplay from an almost impossible position. They are finding the openings, finding the numbers advantage. Nisha just dancing around them. This Meteor, you have to think about the damage that this spell puts out now. It'll actually absolutely dice you up.
Yeah.
The big hero for OG, again, the raid boss in Amar. Yeah, he's perma-slotted now. He's got Titan Sliver. He's got Daedalus. At the same time, Secret's been kiting him around the map. The downside of this Mars is he's pretty slow and he's pretty clunky. No blink, no mobility.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to walk in and hit people. Put on your best tap dance shoes.
Yeah, just try and dodge away from him as much as you can. It's the only way to win these fights, because that was just 1,000 damage crit doubled up.
I mean, if you're near this hero, you're going to disappear.
Yeah.
So stay away.
Push forward. Mar says he'll do it all by himself. Taking down heroes, taking down towers. He's got the Aegis. He can force Team Secret to him by just threatening the objectives.
Amar wants them to come to him.
The Secret, I mean, they got to scramble back here. Amar's going to take the tower pretty quickly if they're not careful.
Nisha does have an Ag, so the Cataclysm Burst could be enough. They also have this Bloodthorn on Resolution. The single target burst is getting there for Secret. Still, I don't know if it's enough to bring down this man. This absolute monster.
They're poking at him bit by bit, but the Satanic Heal, not even activated, just killing the creeps, gets him back up to near full.
Berserk Potion on top, why not?
All right, they come in for the Zion Chrysalis. They find the opening. They're going for Uragi. There's so much damage after the Cataclysm, but Amar is dealing it right back in. Caught inside the Brambles. Chrysalis, second BKB. Keeping his distance. He's almost done, but Amar can't quite finish him off. Chrysalis has to retreat. Nisha's not going to be allowed to. The Brambles holds him in place. Nisha, with him gone, he does have a buyback. He's going to have to use it here. Otherwise, Amar will force the Megas. They're going to get the Bloodthorn out onto him. He's faced the wrong direction. Chrysalis coming in from behind. They can finally do the damage. Life number 1. Can they get him in life 2? Satanic back up in 5 seconds. Amar is going to have to play for that one here. They're going to commit for this kill. It's just a 1 versus 3, basically. 2 supports trying to help out. The Meteor laid down. Taiga gets wiped out. A TP away. No, denied by the Cold Snap. He roofs it forward. Resolution trying to challenge him. They're keeping their distance. Amar will finally fall.
The God slain here outside Secret's base. Off the buybacks, Nisha completing the wipe here, 25 for this Invoker. All of a sudden, what looked like it might have been the final push gets turned around with that Meteor Sunstrike damage, shredding double cores right off the bat. Alk and Quap got nothing off in that engagement pretty much. 300 or less damage from both of them. Look at the output from this Invoker, my God.
Everybody was probably convinced OG was just going to take this game 1 at some point, but Secret, they didn't go into that trap. The God is nothing to the non-believers. Team Secret will continue this push forward and see if they can keep OG stumbling.
Radial Deafening Blast up now. Zions has this BKB. Suddenly the initiation that Secret can just jump and commit to is becoming a lot more formidable. Uragi pumping a stun.
Okay, but Zions immediately pounces. They have all these buybacks, but they're going to be able to focus down Uragi, and he does not have a buyback. Resolution is out of here. He gets back, but he can come back in with his ultimate. Secret can potentially keep this going during the 70 seconds the Alchemist is dead. Unfortunately, they're going to have to do it without Zions.
I mean, they get everything they want there. Tier 3, almost a rack, but more importantly, double buyback from OG. Phoenix and this Mars buyback, the most important. You can be a god, but if you're in the grave, there's nothing to do about it. Suddenly, win condition opened up for Secret here. If Amar goes down one more time, you're looking at a very different OG squad. This Alk just feels absolutely squishy. When he gets hexed and shackled, Nisha destroys him.
Secret have kind of put together a game plan for these fights. They need to get the initiation on the back line. They can blow up Hiranki first.
Yeah,
leave
ignore the
Amar
Mars
for last.
I mean, this Mars can't use his influence in the fights. He doesn't have the ability to just stick on cores, make them fight him. Now all of a sudden, Secret tank ability going up. Blink Glimmer on Puppey, the BKB on Zayats, AC on this Razor, along with this Trickster Cloak. He's a lot tankier than before, and of course Nisha building into his final slots, gets the Timeless Relic, gets the
another
Hex.
15% spell
He is
damage
gonna
on a
hurt.
Meteor. That is one-shotting heroes.
We were talking about Secret needs a God Slayer. It might just be this Invoker.
And they do it. Secret trying to find an opening here. OG smoked up, playing as 5 on a high ground. They're going to run into Puppey here. Puppey, Glimmer King, no way out though. Jam does spot him.
found the
Science
Hex.
goes forward, but look at the damage he's taking. Overwhelmed by the Mars. They do have the Cataclysm going out, but they didn't burst any heroes
Awkward
down.
fight for
OG,
Secret.
they survived through the initiation this time, and Secret, now they're the ones stumbling backwards. Crystallis, he uses his second BKB. He's trying to do the damage. The Tornado might just be able to buy him a little bit. He's getting behind Amar, but it doesn't matter. A pin through. Nisha TPing out desperately, but it's only going to be him, the only core alive. As the Dawnbreaker and Razor are dead. No buybacks. OG rushing towards the Secret base now.
Zayats found the Hex on the Alk and decided to shackle another hero, and all of a sudden the counter initiation from OG around the egg. Too much for Secret to handle. Perhaps a botched initiation indeed, and all of a sudden they're forced into a situation where no buyback on Razor, no buyback on Dawnbreaker, 60 seconds for Amar to put the soldiers to work here.
Team Secret, if they want to do this, it's going to have to be a perfect combination, but
Damage
it's
test.
not doing enough damage to Amar. They threw everything they had at him, and he just shrugged it off.
The God, too much for the God Killer. And OG will end up taking this game one, but damn, what a comeback from Secret to make that a contest. Maybe striking a little fear into what felt like an impenetrable defense from OG. I think Amar, he felt it a little bit, you know? A God can bleed, apparently.
He felt it a little bit, but in the end, OG still claimed the victory off the back of Amar's Mars. I have to say, that has got to be a ban-worthy territory for Team Secret. That kind of performance with Amar's on the main stage here, you cannot give that one to him again.
It's Puppey, though. There's one guy who stubbornly gives something
That's
and
true.
knows how to beat it. That said, yeah, if you give this guy Mars again after first pick Mars destroys you that hard, I mean, I don't think I've seen a crazier draft decision if that happens.
Well, it's something that we're going to have to wait and find out. OG versus Team Secret is just heating up. Game 1 goes to OG. We'll see whether or not Team Secret can fight back.
Am I wasting time? 'Cause I'm already gone. So long, can you stay the night? 'Cause you're the thing I want. I know you're feeling different when you're stressed out, but even with no makeup you still stand out. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now. Like you do now. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. nights covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. Whoa. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. When it's late at night, I feel you on my skin. My skin. You're all that's on my mind. It's finally sinking in. You're it. I know you're feeling different when you're stressed out. But even with no makeup, you still stand out. Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now. Like you do now. Way that you move your body, make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. Oh, it's electricity. The way that you move your body, it make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. You move your body. Electricity. You move your body. It's electricity.
I gotta be honest, these many days into the event, I was just like, I don't know if I've had the energy for this last day, but that's the kind of game that you want to start your morning with here in Genting. ESL One Malaysia 2022, it had everything. It had the team fights, it had some comebacks, and it had a lot of action all game long. So many team fights that were just on the razor's edge of going one way or the other. But ultimately, it did seem like Secret just kind of lost the sauce at the beginning. They could not invade the Alchemist jungle as much as we were hoping, Winter. We saw them struggling time and time again to get inside, but as you mentioned, the draft from OG was just too good at protecting it.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this like in the earlier panels, you know, I think Mars is like a hero where you can just first pick in, and he's not really, like, he doesn't really care about like getting countered, and this game, Secret needed to do well in the laning phase to invade the Alchemist jungle, and they kind of like, I felt like the way they swapped the supports to the two side lanes, I was kind of expecting Tusk to lane with the Dawnbreaker so that they have more kill potential on the Elk, and the Shaman to lane with the Razor, because the Tusk doesn't lane well against the Phoenix. You can't harass, you can't trade against the Phoenix, and you don't really help the lane as much as a Shaman can do in the safe lane.
Yeah, our theory was that maybe they don't want to split up Rezo and Zayats.
But they could just let them play the hero, you know, and let Puppy be greedy on the Shaman.
Right, exactly. And so the alternative is you let your 5 Shaman and have the Dawnbreaker lane with the Tusk, but it also seemed like Zayats was a little unfamiliar with Shaman, the way that he used that first Serpent Wards in the Roche pit.
That too, that was definitely a huge mistake. But at the same time, I felt like they could have just committed more heroes, and I don't think OG would have been able to contest that Roche anyway. But it definitely affected their timing a lot. You know, they needed the early game to go well for them.
And then once this scepter came out for the Mars, Adam, it seemed that this has been a favorite of Amar, but not a very typical item build from Mars in general. This is something that ATF, I think, is trying to pioneer, and he brought it to great success in this game.
We were theory crafting about it before, like there wasn't really a change to the eggs, just some bulwark changes, like why is he going eggs now? I think the two things is, one is the mana cost, maybe Refresher's not as good right now. I think another thing is he's playing against range heroes, like Razor for example this game, so he wants to use the bulwark a lot. So he's just, I mean he scales and it looks so OP honestly, he makes it look so broken.
Yeah, I mean I like the Refresher idea, I think, because Sin, you were looking through the changelog, you're like, there's no specific buffs, like why wasn't Scepter good last patch? It was, it's just that Refresher was better, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's also a little bit, again, we'll keep coming back to this over and over again, but the timing thing, right? Where in the last patch, if you got this early BKB Refresher, that was game ending, and I think now, if you can't really support it and actually use these spells in succession, Axe allows you to scale. Amar uses this item to farm. He's going to waves, he's using Rebuke, and then he's using his shield one time, kills the wave, goes jungle, farms camps. You effectively start farming kind of like you had a Battle Fury because you're just cleaving everything. It's a free spell, it has no cooldown, so you just walk around camp to camp.
Yeah, it has to cost some mana cost, you know. The spell is too good.
It's pretty wild. I think potentially there's also the possibility, that's what's really cool about Dota, like sometimes people just discover builds that you haven't really used before. Like maybe if Amar could go back in time, maybe he would have played this more in the old patch now that he sees how good it is. Who knows?
And as we look forward to the final segment of post-game discussion, we usually like to crown a most valuable player. But it's never specified where that most valuable player comes from. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to argue for Nisha not being the most valuable player in that entire game. Obviously, OG, Amar, everyone on that team was playing out of their minds, but Nisha was on another level, Winter. That Invoker was single-handedly keeping Secret in the game.
Yeah, like given the situation, like how hard the game is for his team, like I was so surprised that the amount of work that he's been able, like in this fight, he somehow killed the two supports just by being, landing all his spells, and they were like already so far behind, but it gave them like a glimmer of hope, or maybe we can still come back into the game. Because the timing of their heroes, if the game drags out to super late game, the Invoker is going to be able to outscale the Alchemist. He's going to be able to outscale the Mars eventually, but it's going to take time, you know. So all these small little moves, it's going to buy them time to get to that point.
I think Nisha ends the game with the highest hero damage as well. Despite all of this highlight reel we have from the Mars dealing amazing damage, part of what Nisha is you taking advantage of in this game is that new level 20 talent where you get 80% damage on Chaos Meteor. Used to be a level 10 talent for 40%, but now when you hit that level 20, it is just amazing what you can output. And yeah, I think what's really impressive about it, and I think, you know, probably some people will disagree, they'll be like, man, how could you not pick a Mars MVP for that game? He carried, he was amazing, and he was, but I think for me, I'm looking at like the perspective of what conditions do you have, right? Like Nisha actually needs to play incredibly well to even keep them in that game, and he just kept delivering over and over in these really, really difficult fights. So I think this is the first time in the event we give the MVP to the losing team's
This is
player.
unprecedented to say the least, but if there ever was a performance to grant it to the losing team, it had to be that one. That's the kind of bar that you need to set. But it can't just be Nisha versus the world. How did Secret get into this situation, Adam, that really, was it the laning phase where we didn't really get to see the Shaman and the Tusk go into the lanes that we expected, not being able to invade the jungle as successfully? What are you looking forward to in the next game for Secret to repair?
I feel like Alchemist has been a very niche pick this tournament because a lot of teams, they show their supports early. I feel like generally the teams that have like the protect high ground supports like the Undying and the Phoenix, they tend to pick up this Alch later on. It just feels like he has kind of a free game. I feel like teams haven't figured out how to approach this yet. I think scaling is one way. I think if Secret did do better in lanes, they did have a good shot in this game because the Invoker was really, really strong at some point. Even with the Mars scaling, they showed glimpse of hope, right? Like they could have made a comeback in that game, I believe. But the timing was kind of off, and Dota sometimes it comes down to just who gets the jump first, and that's kind of what happened towards the end.
Yeah, you can only judge so much from the draft, and we actually got a chance for OG to do a little bit of legal work for us. We sent them to Dota Court.
Alright guys, we're here for Dota 2 Court. We're going to watch an Overwatch case. I've got Amar, the defender here, and Taiga, the prosecutor. We'll find out if this guy's guilty, so let's go into that replay. What's he reported for? Feeding?
Let me see.
It says feeding.
Click on
up
start
there.
reviewing.
Start reviewing? Oh, okay,
let's
that's
see.
feeding.
All right, so he's jungling. See his
Scoreboard.
perspective.
Show scoreboard.
He's running up.
All right.
He's
He's
going-
not really. I mean, I guess he's feeding. He's just so stupid. I don't know.
I
what
mean,
to
he's
say.
stacking camps. No, he's stacking camps. Look, he put wave under tower, so 2 camps would push, and he gets a free TP. He also bought back, so he wants to reset, you know?
Okay,
so
okay.
next time when he dies, he doesn't have buyback.
Let me see.
See?
Okay.
He has 7 sentries to go block camps.
He died 12 times so far.
All right. I like that defensive
but
angle.
look. He's blocking camps. He's taking natural
Oh,
light.
he found neutral. No,
He found a new.
He doesn't even pick it up.
Doesn't pick it up.
Maybe he's
This guy's griefing totally. Like, look at how he's playing. He's walking like in like first time playing Dota.
He is level 9,
He's
20
ancient.
26. I mean, his team's not doing bad.
No, his team is
So-
trying hard to carry him. Yeah.
But
Look.
he's not griefing.
He's definitely griefing. What is he doing? Why is he
Amar,
walking
what's he
to
doing
tower?
here? As the defendant. What's he trying? Is he
Creating
holding
space?
creep wave?
He forced PLTP. It's enough.
Did he get the PL to TP?
Yeah,
Right.
PLTP.
Okay.
Too much. Look, they die actually. See? This chrono because PLTP.
I'm sure he's not feeding. He has 5 wards.
He has a tomb as
And
well.
5 wards in his inventory. He hasn't placed a single one as support.
As an ancient. Okay. Yeah, that's not something you
I think this
expect.
guy is griefing and deserves to be in low priority for 2 weeks.
Okay, Amar, why would you hold on to 5 wards? What's the reasoning?
Maybe he waits night time, so he makes the map bright.
Why is he tanking creeps Amar?
So he stacks waves for cores to farm. He support, he useless.
But why would a go here and farm? He's dangerous.
No, he's stacking 2 camps. So 2 camps come to him and he farm.
18 death.
But he's support. You cannot flip support for dying.
All right, I mean,
See, they killed Odi because he bait.
still running down now. Okay, he's
Oh, he
running
dropped
away.
items? Oh, he dropped the ward? Okay, Amar, any question?
Well,
And the
why would you do
statement
this? Okay, so is there a good reason to offer your
Can
wards?
you submit what is this?
Submit resolution?
Yes. Okay. Griefer. Why he put words on the ground?
So that's the breaking point. Everything else is
It
justifiable.
doesn't matter. He's support. If he does, it doesn't matter.
All right, I guess we've got
No
a
real
verdict.
tip for hacking.
It's even the defense attorney here just gave up. He's guilty. It's a griefer.
It's obvious a griefer.
Don't drop your wards, guys. You can do anything else, but don't drop your wards. That's the line Amar draws. And he's guilty in this court. That's it.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Welcome back, Arena of Stars, to game number 2 of OG versus Team Secret. And if you're having a good time in the arena, we still got some extra fun for you after this game, win or lose from either team. If you want to go see MLP Dota, John Xfire, Effie, and Slacks, be sure to go to the signing sessions in the Madison Square area. But if you're here for the Dota, well, I've got the draft ready for you. Batrider and Monkey King banned out by OG, Mars and Viper taken out by Team Secret. OG picked up the Chen, and Razor and Ogre picked up by Secret. And I know, Cinderin, you would ask me about this, about the Mars dynamic in their earlier series, in the upper bracket. And it's getting echoed here again. In game number 1, OG won, and they got it with a Mars. And then systematically, in games 2 and 3, Secret immediately first phase banned the Mars, and they're like, okay, not again.
Yeah. And I think it's understandable. I really wonder what Secret came in today with that game number 1 that they thought was the counter. Maybe it was the Razor that they felt like, okay, if OG are going to first pick Mars, we're going to beat him in lane, and it just didn't work. So they're still going to run back the Razor even though they banned the Mars, which kind of feels like Secret maybe wanted the Razor regardless. But yeah, OG with a totally different opener this time, so we'll see if Secret's opener was going to do better against this one. Obviously, last game, OG got their hands on Mars plus Queen of Pain, and this time they choose the Puck over Quap, even though both are in the pool and they're going into bans, which makes me think that OG considered this hero a better pairing with Chen.
Yeah, how about the fact that they actually chose Ogre over Undying? And both teams are ignoring the hero this time.
Maybe Puppy thinks this hero is better against Chen than Undying is. Both heroes are pretty bad against Chen in lane, right? So perhaps this fares better, or he wants to be able to scale into late game with triple Bloodlust core.
Yeah, with the Razor, I guess that works better.
Yeah.
With the Razor.
It's also the Midas against the Chen army.
Oh my damn.
It's
Yeah, that
something.
multicast though.
If anyone would do that, it would be Puppy
It
though,
would
right?
be
Like-
Puppy. He would specifically not use his Midas until he finds the Chen creeps.
Yeah.
And OG, we saw it in the group stage, they have both a handle on how to play Chen and how to deal with Chen. Their go-to strategy against was the Elder Titan, which Secret doesn't seem too interested in quite yet.
I think it's because of the Razor, like he was talking about Undying. I think ET has similar problems. They're both not the best against mobile heroes. Like Puck Quap, when I think Secret kind of expected the Quap to come out because of the Razor. That's what OG did last game too. So Ogre kind of makes the draft a bit more balanced out in terms of lockdown.
And later on, they also continued banning out Amar with the Viper as their second ban. And now they're starting to target Yuragi, take out the Faceless Void, take out the Terrorblade. Meanwhile, Zayats catches a stray. His Techies gets banned out.
That's probably Zayats' best hero against Chen. And also, I think when you're playing with this, when Secret had Ogre earlier in the tournament, they like to put Zayats onto the Techies because these two heroes are pretty good in tandem, right? You have a 5 that actually has a stun and a slow, Techies can connect on it. And Ogre's downside as well as the support is that he has atrocious teamfight damage for the most part. Like Ignite takes forever to tick up, and if you're against Chen army, who knows what it's even gonna hit, right? With the multicast, but Techies could cover that base. Now Secret need to take a different approach.
Yeah,
Also the sounds have been great against Puck, obviously.
The other heroes has to definitely take the team fight box and like have some more damage because Ogre and Razor that they don't really have much to offer in the team fights. You know, they're just gonna be bloodlusting the Razor running in. They're gonna need a lot more, you know, in terms of team fighting. Whereas the Chen and the Puck, they have the creeps, they have the setup with the coil, they have the silence, they have a lot to offer for their teammates.
Can we talk about this Lone Druid ban?
Tell me about it.
What do you think the
Oh, I
Lone
thought you were
Druid
gonna
ban
tell me
is
about
gonna-
it.
Oh, no, I'm just wondering because the Void and
the push, I guess, because Ogre and Razor, maybe they feel like they won't be able to deal with a Chen coming in with a core that can allow them to speed up the game to take their towers quickly. So they feel like they need to remove that out, but otherwise it's rather strange.
Well, they get one answer against the Puck. I was expecting to see the Shaker, but Sind. Instead, they opt for a Skywrath Mage.
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at this as an option as well for Secret. I think they definitely wanted Techies here because I think it would just have been a better version of Skywrath for this game. But they want some sort of instant lockdown for the Puck with the sounds from Skywrath. I guess they weren't too big of fans of the Shaman that they ran in the last game, and they're probably worried about what he can do into Chen. But as far as I can see from Secret right now, their team fight is very, very lacking, and I think you're a little bit susceptible to potentially just kind of getting run over in towers, which
Yeah.
is why they banned the Lone Druid, right? Because they don't have very good defensive mechanisms right now.
they're kind of all in on lanes. I feel with the Sky and the Ogre, those supports are just basically to win your lanes. If you don't win your lanes, you're gonna be useless in the game.
I feel like if Secret took the team fight approach, they would have problems with catch against Puck too, so they were kind of in a tough spot. They decide to go this. I think it's more normal for Secret. They draft like strong laners and supports that like can kind of play together instead of like maybe OG style where the supports are like heavy team fight and the cores are just scaling and catching people.
So what OG do against this Skywrath is they pick a carry that has inherent healing. Usually what Bloodseeker fares the best against are heroes that consistently need to harass you down but never really get the full burst. Skywrath in laning stage is about that. You want to get the enemy hero to 2/3 or half and then you go for the kill after. And if you're playing into Chen Bloodseeker, I think that could prove to be quite challenging to actually kill off Yuragi in lane. So I like this pick. You also rupture the Razor, which he absolutely hates. This hero needs to move in fights all the time to deal damage. And you kind of get caught in this awkward spot where you get ruptured and coiled. Like, wait, what do I actually do? You know,
terrorize with the rupture.
Do you think it's definitely a Yuragi Bloodseeker? Because Amar has played this hero.
That's
in the
true.
past.
They could also put it 3. It's actually a flex for them. But
how does he do in the laning against the Razor though? If you do that.
Yeah, I think that's a harder lane than the Tide. I think you pull the creeps away as much as you can with Bloodseeker. You can still last hit range creeps with Blood Ray. Anchor Smash is obviously annoying. But I think you can sustain this lane because again, Tide and Skywrath kind of are poking and prodding you step by step. So as long as you get some CS along the way as Bloodseeker, you should be fine. But if Secret play their lanes like excellently, play them almost to perfection, and they deny as many creeps as possible from Bloodseeker, maybe they can bully him out, which would be huge.
It's kind of like a very similar situation in the last game. The way they are drafting, the way their ideas are very heavily centric around having a good laning phase. Their heroes are very, very focused on dominating early, and once they can dominate, they can unleash their heroes. But if they don't dominate, their heroes are just going to be run over by OG.
I feel like OG has heroes that have much stronger early presence this game compared to the last game though. Last game they had like this big team fight to like protect their own areas, but this game with the Chen, I've mentioned this before, when OG picks Chen, their whole drafting style changes. They try to play faster, and you can kind of see it with the heroes like picking the Puck over Quap and like showing this Bloodseeker Willow early. It's not that normal for them unless they have the Chen.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good point with Chen, because when you pick Chen, after you secure the lane, you want to be able to ball in a group and play at a high tempo game so that you pressure the opponent. Even though we mentioned time and time again, the patch right now is kind of slow, so you want to take things slower, and you want to try to be more greedy with your heroes. You try to scale more, but when you're playing against this kind of mentality and you have Chen, you're able to upset the balance by playing faster yourself.
We'll see what carry they choose to up that tempo, because it looks like Secret are expecting it to be an off-lane Bloodseeker, the way that they're banning out this Ursa that would have made life hard for the Tidehunter. Monkey King is banned out first phase by OG.
I like the sniper ban. I just want to mention that because Nisha has been playing this hero incredibly well, and you give Bloodlust to that hero in addition.
Yeah,
it's a hero that can lane pretty well against Puck. OG don't have the best backline catch. Yeah, you can jump in the Puck, but you can probably protect him because you have a front line of Ogre and Tide. So I actually think this was a really intelligent ban from OG that I think a lot of teams would not have found right here.
How's the Lina matchup versus Puck these days?
I don't know, actually. I think it's probably, if both players play equally well, it's probably relatively close. In the past, both Puck and Lina would have used the side camp. They both benefit massively from the water runes. I think it's another alternative for Secret that kind of fits the sniper role. Maybe that's why your mind went there, because I think that could make sense. Again, I think you want some heavy artillery in the mid lane as Secret, so I could see Lina being an option for sure. At the same time, though, she is kind of susceptible, perhaps, to the pace that OG are setting here. Like, maybe it's going to go too fast. Lina does need a couple of items before she really comes online. And what Sniper would have offered that Lina doesn't is just better tower defense. You defend from really, really far away. Shrapnel is an incredible spell against Chen for holding towers. But Lina is definitely not a bad idea here.
There's still a Timber Saw in the surprise OG didn't insta-pick
Also
it.
true.
I feel like it's Slark if they want to carry for the Thai lane. It's a pretty good slot game. It's nice to buy eggs now. You get stats from Pounce. It's hard to link. Pretty free game, I think.
Yeah,
they are looking for a carry.
Is there a world here that Amar wants to play Huskar? Like, how bad is the Razor lane with Inner Fire?
Depends on the support though. Like he's Huskar with
20 base damage Ogre.
Yeah, Willow against the Ogre.
Oh, nice call. Wow. I was not expecting them to go for this,
I
actually.
think Slug Chen, I think I talked about this in group stage, some team picked it. I think it was OG too, actually.
It was OG, and it was against Team Secret also.
Is this a mid-tide?
It's a...
Yes.
It's a
I think so.
mid-tide, yeah.
So Resolution with his Enigma last pick, and Cancel is limited. They've got silences, but nothing that's spell
but
piercing.
BKB Black Hole is going to be game-winning this game.
The tide was a red herring. Like they didn't. I think OG didn't consider this option at all. They were not expecting this
How
to be a
does Slug
possibility.
X interact with Black Hole? Do you still like take too much damage? Because you kind of do like heal, right?
Yeah. So you mean the shard? Where you, the depth shroud?
If you get 2-man Black Hole, you pop Death Shroud. Like how much do you heal through? You will still die.
You can probably keep. How much AoE damage does Secret have? So they have Midnight Pulse, Rupture,
Sky Ult,
or
Ravage, Anchor Smash.
Yeah, you
from
probably still.
mid-tide
Yes,
under,
you're probably still dying. But
Just between Mystic Flare and Black Hole, this team fight from Secret is very intimidating.
I think OG are really on as much as a time as they've been in any game this tournament. I think if this game goes late, I have Secret all the way. Even with a mid-tide, I think they can just outscale. So OG gotta keep up the pace here.
All right, well, I'm encouraged by that because I want this to go to 3 games. I want to do this last day in Genting right. So I'll give it to 2 casters who are going to do it very right. It's Cap and SVG.
Thank you, Tsunami. We're going to do our best because this should be a very interesting game. Sure, OG took that game 1, but Team Secret, they learned from that last game. They drafted themselves some team fight. And oh, by the way, it's a mid-Enigma.
Oh, yeah.
Nisha's going to be playing it here.
The Niche Enigma. I was worried about Secret's team fight going into these last 2 picks. Skywrath, Ogre, not a lot of AoE. One of the issues they ran into last game, but as you said, Tidehunter, Enigma, some old school wombo combo.
Avery was ready to throw in the towel already for Team Secret when he saw the first 3. He was like, where is the team fight? But they drafted 2 of the biggest team fight heroes you could possibly hope for. Not interested, hold up, what was that? Amar said not interested to play versus Mars again. Oh, he's already trying to get a little bit of all chat, trying to get underneath Puppy's skin.
I mean, honestly, no. I don't think anybody
I don't
is.
think anybody wants to play against that Mars. I'm pretty sure Aster saw that game and it's like, all right, if we face up against OG, we're not playing against that Mars.
That thing just went pure raid boss mode. So I don't think he's going to get it the rest of the tournament, no matter what all chat he writes. And this is a much more interesting game just because of the last picks here. This Slark pick, we've seen this hero rise back to popularity a little bit. It has good matchups in this game. Not a lot of huge lockdown for him, of course. Secret snap picked this mid Enigma. This was not something they were debating. This was not something they cared about this Slark coming out at all. They just jammed it. They already knew what they wanted. Now you have a Black Hole answer for this Slark. You have some conversion for Chen creeps, maybe some extra tower defense. More interesting though, I feel like they know something about this Enigma Puck matchup. Because when you pick it that quickly, you don't even debate. Nisha's got something up his sleeve here.
Yeah, I wonder if like level 2 Eidolons are really tough for Puck to be able to deal with. Like he can't actually just do enough damage to kill them easily.
It makes sense. Enigma is one of these mid lane dominators. If you haven't played versus it before, and if you know what you're doing with it, there's all these mid Enigma spammers that just get out of control. They destroy lanes, and they can build into fast items you wouldn't necessarily expect. Nisha's already got Orchid on the menu here. This is going to help skew this matchup a lot, right? If you dominate the lane, get to a fast Orchid, just rush it, suddenly Puck's game is a nightmare to play, and you're just mowing down the map. And at the same time, you have the late game Black Hole scale. So very interesting strat coming out from Secret here, and even more so, they're aggro tri-laning here, dodging the Slark Tidehunter matchup. Very smart. They're going to put a lot of pressure on this Chen, who's going to get his small camp blocked. Yuragi wants none of this. He TP's bottom. Instantly matched, though.
Yeah, we'll see how much Team Secret is able to keep up in this game of musical chairs. See whether or not they can get the lanes that they want. I could already see, I mean, the first orb that went out, it did hardly anything to the Eidolon, so I could see how this is going to be a constant problem for BCM. And just purely the fact that you're going to have all the range creeps denied as well. I mean, Puck is a hero that's very dependent on experience.
Even more so now, there's no small camp to farm.
Yeah,
you just have to play this one-on-one. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do. You just have to take it for the team, try and come back later. This should be a lane domination from Nisha here, especially since he's been dominating a lot of these matchups anyway. Microing the Eidolons around here. Looks like he's played this before, even if maybe he hasn't.
It certainly does. Puppy, he's trying to put the pressure on the Chen and keep him from being able to find any good creeps. He knows how, I mean, this man's a
Chen master, so he knows exactly what a Chen wants to do in the early game.
I mean, anytime Chen gets zoned off the early waves, it's a huge deal for you. You set him back a long way. He's missing a lot of his early timing. Again, he goes headdress for a reason. He wants to get the double hero value out of it. He's just playing with tornadoes in the jungle. Puppy's like, sure, have fun. I'm back to lane.
Yep, drop the double tornadoes, whatever. You have fun with that one. So Amar versus Resolution, because they do manage to keep the matchup that they wanted. They did not want to have the Slark versus Tide matchup. Slark really takes advantage of those big tanky heroes like that.
And even more so, this Razor versus Slark.
Yeah.
Just getting ranged heroes versus Slark where you can just right-click him the whole time feels pretty good. Also, forcing Slark into this off lane, very unnatural for the hero. He really wants to play under his tower, abuse the extra regen, try and get to his level 6 where people can TP and come help him. This lane never pushes deep for OG. It becomes very hard for Yuragi to walk up and just start CSing. So he's having a decent early start here, but I suspect this lane might get harder over time. Crystallis looking for first blood.
There
He'll
it
get
is,
it.
picks it up. He's going to take a lot of damage from Yuragi. In fact, he's probably going to be dying here as he's not going to be able to outrun the fish. It's going to be the Chen. Chu takes the counter kill, but still being able to get first blood is a massive pickup. And Amar is feeling a lot of pressure with the Chen, not in lane here. Puppy and Rezo really gunning for it, and Amar, well, he drops the blood right. It doesn't actually get any last hits, so he is going to limp away at no HP. Puppy taking a lot of damage here. They're going to turn around.
Does that Fairy Fire, trying to bait it out.
Shadow Realm, Fairy Fire, he baits it out successfully. Good work.
Another pause here. The anti-Puppy pauses. Right back into it. I mean, first blood definitely worth it for Crystallis. At the same time, giving extra XP to this Slark and free waves, it's going to feel bad.
Yeah.
And it's going to be boots for Yuragi, which is going to help him a lot in this off lane. He's top of the CS board, top of the net worth chart. I was thinking this lane might get difficult. I'm not sure that exchange was really worth it for Secret. Ideally, you want to pressure the Slark or be killing him, not these random supports.
Sure. Meanwhile, Amar, he managed to full heal up, and they're going to go for the kill on a Resolution underneath the tower. Now he runs into another Bramble. Taiga will take the last hit as a result. Check in on that mid lane, though. You could see Nisha doing very well for himself. 16 denies, a good amount of that is probably his own Eidolons, but either way, it doesn't change it. It is Nisha owning the mid lane.
Yeah, that is an absurd amount of denies for 4 minutes into the game.
Yeah, look at that. He's only given up 3 Eidolon kills so far. So he's done a very good job of making sure BZM doesn't collect in that extra bounty.
The level 5 here is the big time for anyone. These level 3 Eidolons pushing you into that black hole is where this hero really starts to become a menace. Again, he's probably going to rush the Orchid this game, which will be the big mid-game timing versus Puck. Things said, though, BZM is not doing too bad. Even with all those denies, he's pretty much even in net worth, and he's doing his best to keep up in levels here, considering he has no Spall Camp or anything to farm.
Mouth is stunned. Puppy was making the rotation. Not going to be here in time, though.
The real interesting thing to me is, does OG have the outspam for these Eidolons in this game? Well, let's say this Catapult comes in 5 minutes. You have some random flag bearer creep that catches up. Nisha just starts pushing towers with Eidolons. Who's actually killing these things?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. You know, I guess Chen comes in and takes one.
Yeah, that's something. But speaking of Chen, he's going to be run down here. Crystallis should be able to pick up that kill. Well, it's Zayats instead. At the same time, Yuragi is going to get some damage back into Crystallis, and they have the Brambles potentially coming in. Crystallis does not get hit by it, though.
Now, this is the better trade Seeker wants. Get the support kill, not give anything onto Slark on the turnaround. Bringing more of OG's resources to this bottom lane.
Oh, trying to catch the courier. BZM.
I mean, this is the part where this matchup becomes annoying. Level 3 Eidolons, Catapult Wave is mid. This is a big pressure point for Seeker. Puppy wants to use it. That's why he's lurking around here. OG, you're going to have to be careful with how they respond here, and I don't know if they have the resources to do it because of those TP's bottom. Chu is only level 2. Taiga has no mana. I guess he has triple mango. But still, where's the outspan going to come for this push? I think Secret might be able to do some serious damage here.
Yeah, especially if they can secure the 6-minute power rune with Puppy hanging around. They do have Taiga, who's also going to be doing the same.
Oh, they missed the D-Ward mid by a millimeter.
Oh, no. So close. Rune does spawn into Haste Rune. He's going to immediately challenge Taiga to a fight. He's got Shadow Realm, but no TP, so I think he might just be dead here.
Yeah, he is dead for sure.
Too far away from any saving objectives.
Big bad Ogre right clicks, taking him down. Again, the Radiant Catapult's still alive mid, so this pressure point exists, and Flag Bearer creep coming in. This mid push is aligning perfectly for Secret.
Looks looks like Amar is taking a lot of damage. Resolution doing very well for himself in this 1v2. 29 and 15 CS, not bad. And Amar's lowest in CS in this game. Here comes the catapult push.
Oh, he's just gonna give it.
Really? I mean, who really thought with level 6 and these early Eidolons, thought they were gonna try and do some serious damage to this mid tower, but no.
Yeah, I think they had the window. Again, no coil on this puck, and I don't think OG supports can do anything here. Just choosing to farm up instead, not overextend. I mean, Nisha is getting very farmed. Now he's starting to pull ahead in this matchup. We see almost 1,000 gold ahead after that kill.
Puppy. Is he gonna die to Taiga here? He's actually running into the hands of Yuragi potentially. I'm not sure what's going on here. Throws out the Fire Blast stun. Yuragi's like, okay.
It's an Agi.
Free Agi, I guess.
Yeah, put him on the board. I do think Yuragi has gotten more out of this early game than they might have anticipated, and he's already up to level 6.5. Kill and assist on the board. Pushing for that Orb of Corrosion. I think OG recognizes they're gonna potentially have to join some early fights in this game depending on how fast this ball push comes out from Secret. Rezo trading top. Getting mana burn though, pretty annoying.
The way Amar keeps on getting so low, I'm surprised they haven't made a support rotation up here. But I guess they've been kind of focused on the mid lane.
Yeah, and
really
another smoke to mid. They got the silence.
Get the silence on him. The mouth is going to be there as well. The orb is already worn out, so he's going to have to use the waning rift to try and get away. But he's still slowed down. Another fire blast coming in, and BZM is he going to get run down here? The black hole goes out. No chance to jump to the orb. Resolution, meanwhile, top lane had a rupture on him, but was able to turn and fight. Amar comes back in now to try and claim the last hit. Is anybody going to TP in to help out poor old Rezo? No. Bloodright finished them off. They show up now, but it's a bit too late.
And that lane is on a knife's edge. Secret choosing to commit the resource to mid instead of top. They probably could have done either one, but I agree this mid lane is more important. Getting this Enigma rolling, shutting down this puck is going to cause the greatest differential in this game, even if Tide suffers a little bit.
At the same time, I mean, just the player, I feel like maybe you'd want to shut down Amar more. Nice dodge there. Ignite doesn't land. BZM still has to be careful though. The
OG
silence,
bringing
but with,
numbers.
The Chen coming in from the side and Taiga with the Brambles, they might be able to pick up both supports here. Zap's coming in. Science is dead. Double kill for BZM as he gets a bit of revenge. He does lose his mid tower in the meantime though, so there is a trade-off for Secret.
I think that mid tower was going to die no matter what, though.
True.
I don't think Secret wanted to give up both supports there, especially when they can go into these lanes and make something happen. You have the Ravage up top. You have this Enigma who's so strong. These Secret supports really want to be out on the map during this time period, so a huge pickup from OG, taking the aggression off the map, freeing up space for their cores to continue to farm.
Yeah, considering how good like all three of their cores, especially their side lanes are, I feel like a two-man rotation to a Tidehunter with Gush or a Razor, I feel like it's a pretty easy fight to win. Now they're going to try and go for this Bloodseeker. Amar, he's going to TP out.
Ooh.
Rezo opting not to throw down the Ravage.
I think he would have got him there, but I can't blame him for thinking he might have gotten out. Either way, sending him to base is going to free up this tower push top. These are the little rotations you were talking about. Secret can make them and make them worthwhile. They have the cores to set up the kills. The threat exists on almost all three lanes in this game. That's what this Sky Ogre lineup is designed to do. Whereas OG, they're going to stuck responding for now, trying to get the levels on this Chen, farming up jungle. Almost level 5. Big power spike for him.
Double damage Puppy's going to show up. They're just going to put some damage onto Yuragi, but I don't know if this is really that smart. It's not like the Slark is in any sort of danger. Oh, he does. The pounce is coming through. It's going to stop the TP. Chrysalis dodges it, but it also means he's now dead. And Amar takes great pleasure in that fact, immediately tipping Chrysalis.
Send them to base. No teleport. He'll have to walk out.
Yep.
Top tower is going down to this Tidehunter catapult.
And because he didn't use the Ravage, maybe he can defend bottom lane.
It's definitely on the menu. I don't think Secret want to give this OG lineup too many towers. The idea of this Tide versus Chen matchup is you stall him out in the early objectives and close his map. Especially when Secret have the cooldowns. Black Hole in 20, and more importantly, Orchid already completed on this Enigma. This is not a push you want to give to OG for free, and Secret agree. Teleporting Skyrat down here moving the heroes into place. Still, this tower is just getting chunked.
Taking a lot of damage. They get
Got
the
the
silence out of
silence.
the Slark. A big kill if they can get it. He sidesteps the ultimate, gets away into the trees. He's out of mana though. He's out of sight at the same time, so he just does start healing up. The rotation coming through from Secret. Looks like they should be able to catch 2 here. The Terrorize doesn't save him.
So Secret will defend this tower on literally 2 HP.
All right, well, might as well deny it.
Doing some economic damage, and again, maybe the most important thing is this is the Chen mech timing. He's going to get sent to base and have his creeps mopped up. So the biggest thing that always sets this hero back is if you go for these pushes, you go for the fights, you lose your army, suddenly you disappear off the map for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what Secret's mainly looking for. They would have really liked that Slark kill. Beautiful silence from the fog. Just not enough lockdown.
Fire Blast denied haste rune by Taiga.
The other thing OG's going to have to think about in this game is the early Roshan, the early group up from Secret. You have this Tide Hunter going Wraith Pact, or at least the Vlads. Combine this with Enigma, who went to Orchid. The Eidolon pressure, the amount that OG can't really deal with them, everybody's going to be bloodlusted. This group up from Secret is deceptively strong, despite the fact they have 2 single target supports.
Yeah, and that makes things really awkward when you want to be able to like rupture and coil and force people to like break that coil or force them to run away with the rupture on them.
Speaking of rupture, Nisha.
They're going to throw down the Ravage. Mid lane at the same time. They're going for the Nisha kill. They should be able to get it. Bottom lane, they did kill the Slark at the same time. It looks like actually Taiga's in trouble. The heal comes out. The mech is just enough to keep Taiga alive. So Core's traded out. A Ravage used to kill Yuragi. At the same time, Nisha, who's the most farmed hero in the game, does get caught in the mid.
Very nice find. This Ancient Seal has proven to be very effective, just silencing the Slark from fog and bursting him up with the damage. Of course, this Enigma kill, probably the bigger one right for now, just because of the amount of map pressure you can exert with Orchid. You don't want this hero being taken out. You want to keep abusing this puck matchup while you have the ability to do so.
Oh, the smoke's gonna break. Science runs headlong into it. Probably doesn't feel too good about it, but at the same time,
Orchid's
Chris
here.
wasn't caught. He had the Orchid on him. Terrorize does catch the 2. Nice disengage there for OG.
Beautiful backup comes in, bails out BZM, and now he can continue farming into that Witchblade. Amar will finally clean up this tower bottom, which did not get denied on 2 HP.
Yeah, what happened? I feel like you're extra incentivized to just deny towers in these situations now that you actually get some gold for it as well.
Sends a message, you know? You can have it. It won't help you.
It won't change the fate. 6-9, 14 minutes in. Pretty even game all around. And a game that, I mean, what would you give the late game scenario here? Because we heard the panel talk about it. They were kind of favoring Team Secret if it does go late because they've got such big team fight spells. Do you agree with that? Or do you think the Slark has something to say?
I mean, you can always win late game with Black Hole's Ravage. It's never outside the window. That said, this OG lineup becomes so annoying just because Secret doesn't have the best BKB core. So now you're looking at Dark Will, you're looking at multiple ruptures, puck spells, who's jumping around, Slark going in and out. There's a lot of poke, a lot of harass, a lot of spells that Secret aren't going to be able to deal with directly, more just deal with them through the amount of net worth they have. I think those types of lineups tend to be very annoying in the late game. Maybe a slight
Going
edge.
for kill on a Resolution here. They've got the Slark rotating over, so Rezo can't TP away. He's going to get pounce canceled. Yuragi will probably thank Amar for giving him another agility stack.
Yeah, up to 3. Echo Saber online. Having a pretty decent game here. Secret's still up ahead in the cores, but barely by anything. And their heroes are a little clunky. They need to be finding stuff on the map.
That's
this
awkward.
is what they want.
Now they do have the Chen heal. That could be enough to save him from the Orchid. At the same time, Nisha being slowed down. They actually got the silence onto the puck. Looks like Zion showed up at the right time. BZM barely living. He's going to have to jump to the orb, and he's nearly going to be black. Black isn't good enough, though. Oh, no. BZM hits the coil. He turns around, Orchids him again, but BZM stays out of sight. The Eidolons can't kill him. Taiga's going to get out as well. Chu, well, he's stuck inside the army here. Puppy's still going for it. He does get Taiga. BZM jumps over the orb, and he TP's out. How did BZM live through that?
Absolutely massive life there from BZM. I have no idea, man. He bottle ticked through the black hole initial damage, and it's enough to keep him alive. This Enigma can't get the Orchid and the Malefice on the backside of that. Just walks it off.
I mean, I almost wonder if it would have been better for the Enigma to just try and right-click the puck. The black hole just did not do enough damage by itself.
I think every pub player in the world felt that escape a little bit.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
BCM sees an opportunity. Pick onto Zayas, perhaps. He does get silenced. Ravage are going to go down with the Skyram Mage ultimate. BCM, he thought maybe he had a free kill, but Secret showing up in force. Resolution not shy about dropping the Ravages.
Yeah, you're not escaping that one. No flashy plays to be made there.
Yep.
Ancient seal his fate. Send him off the map for 20 seconds. This puck is still the lowest net worth core in the game, a product of that early lane. So Secret's still trying to use this advantage for now. And again, Vlad's up on this Tidehunter. He's going to build to scale this game. Ags on the board. Blink at some point. There's not any hard save to this Ravage jump initiation outside of potentially Chen level
Rocky
25.
starts going to town, trying to bring down Resolution, sealing away his stats. The Bedlam's going to do a lot of damage as well. Rezo's done for. They do have the rest of Secret in the neighborhood here. Amar's going to look for an extra kill. Can't quite get in range for the Rupture, though.
OG, think about Roche. They have the Chen, Penitence, all the creeps.
Roshing right in front of Team Secret. I mean, I guess they don't have Black Hole. They don't have Ravage. Terrorize with the coil. They don't want to use it just on an Ogre. They're committing heavily for this 5 position, but Team Secret don't really have any firepower they can throw right back. A buyback immediately from Puppey. He knows they want to be able to go for this. They're going to keep diving. OG, they're going to get a dive back onto Puppey. Is there any response from Secret? No, they're just getting run down underneath the tower. Amar's chasing through on Zayas. Chrysalis at the same time, sticking on top of the Chen. He pops his BKB. He'll kill the 5 position, but he's committed so heavily to go for it that his BKB is going to be wearing out soon. Half health as well.
Well, the Hurricane back
into the hands, into the Centaur stomp. Yoragi committing for the kill, and he gets it too.
The
Resolution, the Bedlam damage overwhelming him bit by bit. OG, they wear down Secret, hero after hero. Team Secret, all this big team fight, but it's all on cooldown.
OG just punishing them with the TPs in, getting the number advantage, and Chu making the plays from the grave. Yeah, you killed the Chen, but his army's still alive. Beautiful Hurricane at the end of that fight. The sustain doing wonders for OG versus Secret's limited damage at this point in the game. Puppey just dies twice right off the bat. He's a significant amount of their long-term damage over the course of these early fights with max Ignite.
Yeah, and I have to wonder, I mean, they committed twice to kill a 5-position Ogre. Like, where's the rest of the team? What is the response? It's finally here from Chrysalis, but it's a kill on a Chen. Who cares? As you said, he's still got his army up, and he makes a big play here with the Hurricane into Centaur
Pull him
stomp.
into the stun. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, Secret have no Ravage. They have no Black Hole. This is not a fight they wanted to get sucked into. OG dictating the pace of the game. Taking it to them first. Now it's going to push them to the next set of items here. Slark top of the leaderboard. He's going for a Shadow Blade, eventual Silver Edge for the break. BCM building into a Yules. Once he has that, he's not going to be as susceptible to the Skywrath burst. And he's going to be very annoying in the fight. At the same time, Amar, the second carry here behind Jiragi, building a BKB of his own. It's going to be a big power spike for OG in the next few minutes here, and one where Secret falter on a single fight, it means Roshan, and suddenly your map control is disappearing to Slark.
Yeah, it's the big downside of these big team fight spells, right? Is the large cooldowns that if you throw them around and you miss, you lose the team fight anyway. Well, then you're just powerless to do anything for another 2 minutes, and OG will make big strides in net worth during that time period of time.
I mean, not to mention, Chu is quietly climbing this board, even as Philosopher Stone. It's got full Locket mech. There's a lot of sustain that's coming out for this OG lineup, and again, the damage for Secret is kind of based around these 2 big ults right now, unless Chrysalis gets a crazy link, which has just been difficult for him.
It really does make this Tidehunter Enigma look, I mean, they don't have the best damage, to be honest.
No, they don't. It's a lot around the spells right now, a lot around this Skywrath Ogre getting multiple rounds of spells off in the fight.
Yeah.
If Amar is chasing you down and he's BKB'd, if Slark is just shadow pouncing you from the shadows on the back end, it's not that easy to just commit these ults.
Yeah. And we were talking about maybe OG having a hard time putting out the damage with the Wraith Pack coming out from the Tidehunter, but it seems to be the opposite problem. Yoragi does pick up that shard, one of the most value shards, I would say, in the game, the Depth Shroud. So we're going to see him. It could be a good save mechanism against all this AoE team fight. Combine that with the Chen heals, and you may be throwing out some big spells and not do any damage whatsoever.
And he's happy to go in and bait with that sustain behind him. Yeah. That's the Shadow Blade idea. He'll go in and start the fight, throw it on his ult, throw down the Depth Shroud. Even if they black hole him, even if they ravage him, he's going to get sustained by the Chen. And of course, classic OG, they have another carry waiting in the wings, right?
Yep.
So you commit these ults on one of them, it's not like you're taking all the damage out of the fight. And that's why these lineups are so hard to team fight into. You have to think about the multiple threats. All three of their cores can win the fight over the long term. Pick and choose your spells carefully. It's going to mean a lot here. Again, Secret want this Roshan in this game.
All this big team fight, what are they going to do with it? Are they going to be able to find a big enough opening for them to, as you say, take that Roshan? This smoke play is so important. OG.
They're looking at Amar. They don't have blinks on their cores.
Yeah, how are they going to be able to catch him, though?
You can't.
Like, they can't. They don't have a blink stunner, so that BKB should go off all the time.
Now, this is where Secret would ideally like to be forcing the Roshan and make OG come into them. Their lineup just doesn't exactly have the best damage to do it.
Coming in from the side. He's going to do exactly what you're
Just
talking
poking
about.
him.
Just try and poke at them. See if he can force out a reaction. Fakes the Ravage. Resolution, though, does go down on the half health.
Amar getting Malefist here.
Okay, he's going to take a bit of damage. They start committing for him. They drop the Sky on the Mage ultimate, but he pops the BKB.
He's just dying.
Chrysalis looks to be able to run him down. He's ruptured, but he's going to continue. He gets the kill on Amar, but now he has to stand still. Uragi's going to go for that kill, and the supports are not close enough. Team Secret cannot save their carry, and now Puppey may be left behind, but they do have the big
Double
boys.
coil snap.
Does double snap there. Nisha and Resolution, they want to be free to walk into this Slark if necessary. Look at this Chen army, though.
Holy
Turns
crap,
it around
the
onto
damage.
Nisha. All these skeletons. Nisha, he pops the BKB for fear of going down to a Chen army. Chu's living through it all.
He's
He
just getting
BKB
out.
teleports out. Chu is still alive. The supports got run down. Resolution may have a hard time getting away as well. Uragi's going to catch up to him. Are they going to dive for this tower? They see him with the orb. They're going to go for it. They've got the pounce up in a second. A Yule Scepter into the pounce. Resolution. Well, he's not going to drop the Ravage. Probably wouldn't even save him. Uragi
just
picks
light.
up the triple kill. Look at that 81 agility. Your Agi is now my Agi.
Thinking about the tier 1, maybe even the Roche. The one thing is Secret didn't use their big team fights ults. That's the saving grace, but goddamn this Chen army, man.
Look at it. There's so many skeletons.
I mean, he was just killing Enigma.
Yeah, I mean, the skeletons are hitting as much as the hero does. They're hitting for like 67 damage or something.
Chu, the Necromancer. Honestly, he's destroying these fights. The sustain prolonging the Razor Chase, the heals, the Frost Armor on all their heroes not even going down, the damage output from these skeletons.
Yeah, he's got the magic aura as well from the small centaur.
He's got it all.
15% magic resistance. Just a free cloak to everybody.
Secret, they still have their ultimates here. They want to use them. They just don't have the Blink Daggers yet. It's so hard.
And every single time they stumble, they're falling farther and farther behind. It may get to a point that OG has such a big net worth lead that it doesn't matter that you've got those big team fights.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Secret try and force this Roshan. It is half HP, and it's the best way to make OG come into their spells.
OG, though, they do have a good amount of poke, so
Yeah.
Secret has to be careful about that.
They also have Terrorize.
They do not want to get caught in a bad Terrorize Rupture combination with the coil on top. Resolution's a little bit low. Uragi trying to force some things.
This looks similar to last game.
It is. It's looking kind of awkward. A bit of deja vu. Team Secret. This time around, can they make the Roshan fight work for them? They're committing for it. Chrysalis is going for it right now, but he wants to jump out.
Very awkward standoff here. The Wraith Pack just times out.
Uragi, he may just go for it himself. He's going to force Chrysalis into the pit. A little hit. Resolution, gonna get stunned up here. Terrorize, being threatened. They do have the Rupture. BKB immediately goes out from Chrysalis. Puppey, he's gonna put himself right in the front line.
There's the
Ravage
Ravage.
going down. They all get away. Nobody getting hit by that one. OG, they now just have to watch out for the black hole from Nisha. He's gonna turn around and go for it onto the Slark, but he's
Doing
already
nothing.
invis. He's not taking any damage. He can turn around and just rip through the Enigma. Chrysalis, he's gonna get stopped by the Curse Crown as well. The last man standing will be the last man to fall. Team Secret as they get wiped again. OG, Kings of the Pit will not be denied. This 2-0 against Secret. They have built up a 12,000 net worth lead. They are just out fighting Secret again and again.
Immaculate positioning, flanking coming from BSM on the backside of the fight, takes Skyrath out completely. The Ravage gets forced, they all kite it. Nisha in the middle of them, BKB'd with nothing to black hole. And of course, the Chen Aura is just going to work the whole time. Vlad's, Locket, Mech, Frost Armor.
I mean, this is just great stuff. They force out the BKB. They turn on a dime. They see the Ravage coming. They're already out. They had
Can't
the
get
BKB.
better.
They had the Shatter Dance going too. And Nisha then forced a black hole. The Slark, you were
does
saying,
nothing.
that's what Uragi's going to do every time. He's going to get on top of this Enigma and force him to use the black hole.
Yeah, he's happy to tank it up. I mean, if Chen's staying alive, if Willow's alive, two carries for
Pickoff's
OG.
getting more and more awkward. It looks like Nisha's going to be run down underneath the tier 2. Uragi now, after that kill, has an Aghanim Scepter on the way, plus another 1,000 gold. The Aegis to be able to work with. This guy's going to be fearless. He's going to run down anybody and everybody. They're going to try and go for the kill on a BCM. The silence does go out, but he's got the self-fuel scepter. He's going to be able to take that off. Chrysalis has to just stand here with the rupture on him. Nothing he can do.
Too many carries for him to
Godlike,
handle.
here comes the Beyond Godlike.
That's just the
Uragi
game.
running down here after hero. GG's Paul, that's it. OG, leaving no question. They are the ones deserving to go to the grand finals against Aster. They are the best chance to take down the most dominant team here in ESL One Malaysia.
Perfection out of this Chen lineup, pushing them into that grand final. Their lower bracket run from this team, they just cannot be stopped once they have the momentum. Solidifying themselves as one of the best teams in the world for sure. Potentially at this tournament.
I mean, Team Secret, they went through. I mean, this is a revitalized Team Secret that looked to be in pretty good shape as they head into the TI qualifiers, and OG made them look like chumps.
I mean, this second game wasn't even close, man. This Chen, they just played around this hero absolutely perfectly. They got all the auras, they stalled out the game, get to his timings. This Enigma pick had a lot of momentum, had a lot of lane advantage, fast working on the board. Secret just can't use these spells. They can't find an opening. They get split pushed on the map. OG gets their first round of items. The fight collapses. That Roche pit, that sealed their fate in both games, man. They could not get anything going around that Roshan.
You said it. Perfection. OG's play top notch here in game 2. And they are in very good form heading into this grand finals. It's going to be a real treat to be able to watch them against Aster. But Team Secret, top 3 ESL One Malaysia. Till they met up against OG, it was not a bad performance by them, and they seem to be in pretty good shape for TI qualifiers, so hopefully we're going to see a lot more of them. But now it's just OG and Aster. That's what we're going to be waiting for, the big best of 5 grand finals. But before we get to that, give it up. We've got Avo on stage with OG.
Thank you, Cap. We're here with Tiger from OG. Tiger, congratulations for your win. Fantastic job in those games, but I gotta ask, in this tournament, you've had to adapt to a new position, that kind of new support, 4.5, How is that process for you guys, every tournament having to adapt?
I mean, this tournament, it was easier to adapt, I suppose. We had Seb as standing, amazing player, amazing offlane. I was position 5. I love Seb. I miss him a lot. But I also love Chu. Honestly, I'm just so proud of my team.
Since you speak about Seb, lovely Seb, I know he's a very talkative player in the games, right? I know Misha's also very talkative. Who's the voice now in the team? Who's the one that's making every call? Who's the one that's talking all the time?
I think everyone is talking actually a lot, but I think Space has been showing a lot in communication together with Amar. Everyone is stepping up in communication, especially when you don't have your captain here. So I think it's good. I think we learned a lot from Seb when he was playing with us, and we bring us into this tournament.
Finally, Taiga, I know that you are one of the teams that gets a big crowd buff. How has the SEA crowd been treating you? How have you liked these cheers?
Honestly, I think the C crowd and OG crowd supporters are the best ever, honestly.
There you have it, C. You're the best crowd ever. We're gonna go to break, but give me one last roar for OG. One good chant. There you go. Now we'll take it away with a small break and come back very, very soon.
Do you want to play like a pro and gain that sweet MMR? Watch the DHL Pro Tips to improve your gameplay. Then test your knowledge to win a €250 Steam gift card. Become a pro by visiting esl.gg/DHL Pro Tips.
흔들리는 나의 눈빛 모두 알고 있는 걸 아무리 숨겨보려 해도 가려지지 않는 걸 I'll never miss this chance make you dance 해가 뜨는 것도 모르게 Dance time to dance 집에 가는 것도 까먹게
OG take this lower bracket final against Team Secret and move on into the best of 5 against Team Aster, and perhaps Ori willed it into existence. Slack's got a chance to interview him after they won their winner bracket final, and it wasn't Secret that they were interested in facing off against. It wasn't Fnatic that they were interested in facing off against. Aster wanted OG, and they're gonna get OG. And I think OG are more than happy to see that matchup yet again, because it was Aster that eliminated OG from the Arlington Major. And now they'll get a rematch in the form of a best of 5, and it was a little bit more definitive game coming out from OG. Game 1, sure, it was definitely the story of Amar's Mar
but this game 2, as good as the Enigma looked, as cute as the idea was to shut down the puck, it wasn't enough to bring Secret to a victory in this game number 1, Sind, or game number 2.
No, they tried something pretty different, which, you know, I think I admire. You know, I always admire creativity and trying these new strats. We were talking about how Enigma, we thought it was going to be offlane on the panel until we threw it to the caster.
Yeah.
But Enigma mid against Puck actually fares really, really well. It's one of Puck's worst matchups, but I think BZM played really well. He weathered the storm, he stayed alive, he didn't get ganked and killed by Skywrath or Ogre, and ultimately ended up having a really big impact, whereas Nisha has to really deliver in this game. And one problem that Secret's lineup has is that it's very one-dimensional. You have Tide and Enigma as two of your cores that have these big AoE ultis. And what OG exploited was they just made chaotic fights. They didn't group up. They kind of like pinsert them. Slark comes in from one angle, Bloodseeker comes in from another, and then you have Chen heal, and you try to stay alive and force them to use the ults without getting kills. And when those ults are down, what do you have left?
Yeah, and I think that the supporting cast from OG has also been coming very much into their own. We keep saying how impressed we are with Chu, and you heard it from Taiga. He is more than content to play with any of these support pairings that is thrown his way in the way of stand-ins, but Chu has far surpassed most people's expectations for this tournament winter.
Yeah, and definitely, as a standing, he's outperformed like what he should be performing and how is he performing right now. And I think that overall, the standing in the game, it's not the same like if another team gets another standing, because he's kind of like part of the team, so it's natural for him to integrate into the team. But at the same time, you have to be playing a lot of Dota to play like how well he played in the game. You know, the micro skills on Chen, the tornado to set up the stun, everything has to be practiced a lot of times.
And maybe that's why, Adam, like you alluded to, the way that OG play whenever they have Chen feels completely different than whenever they have some other opening draft. And I imagine a lot of it is the product of the fact that your coach is the one playing the Chen. He knows exactly how to execute the strategy he has in his mind, so why not just do it in the gameplay too?
That's very possible. I think OG as a whole, like the way they draft, even if Taiga plays the Chen before at the major, the way they approach the game and the heroes they pick are very different. Because I think in general, they pick a lot of team fight, but when they play Chen, they have like very small spells. Or at least that's how I look at their draft most of the time. And on top of that, I think the problem with how Secret approached the game is that they had like very lane dominant heroes, right? And then when you play this way and you die 1 or 2 times and give back the advantage from laning phase, you kind of lose your whole advantage and the momentum of the game swings to the other team's favor.
Yeah, I like that he actually brought up that point. You know, like you look at the teams in the final, Aster, Secret, OG, and the team, and it's obviously Aster against OG in the final. The teams that actually, the way they look at the game, they prioritize more on like team fight, more well-rounded draft. Whereas you compare to Secret in third place, they have a tendency to, I feel like, over-prioritize laning phase. And because the whole game is slower, maybe in the previous patch it's easier to execute because the game is fast. So you win your lanes, you snowball, you run at the enemy, everything works better. But right now, since everything is a bit slower, like I would say like around 10 minutes slower, and you don't have that team fight and damage from your supports later, it's all out on lanes, then your supports don't give you as much value as like say like a Chen, a support that's really good in the team fights.
And maybe that's a strategy that oftentimes brings success against, no offense, but weaker teams. Seeing as how Secret makes it this far in the tournament, you can take your laning superiority and convert that into a win generally. But once you get to the top 3 of the tournament, it's not that simple, Send.
Yeah, I definitely think there's something to be said about how quickly the teams adapted in this tournament. I think, you know, some of the losses that we saw earlier on were probably just players not playing at the usual level that they can. Some players will take a little bit more time to learn the new metrics of the game, the mechanics. And Secret were really quick to pick up on that, so they definitely got a lot of momentum compared to certain other teams that kind of got shafted when this patch dropped. And that's how it is. It's always going to be a little bit of a it's a different skill set, basically. Like, you could call it random or whatever when a new patch drops, but, you know, some teams are just quicker and better, and Secret was one of those teams. But the deeper you go in the tournament, the more experience the players get, the more understanding the teams have. And today, Secret just met a superior team, honestly. I think OG just played clearly better overall, which is a good sign for the finals, because we said yes after yesterday, our ass are just going to own because they kind of crushed Secret.
Yeah.
Now another team also did it, so maybe this is going to be a really even match.
But all things considered, Secret should still be pretty satisfied with where they ended up. Of the Western European teams that are in that cutthroat qualifier, Secret by far made it the furthest. And it wasn't just the product of one player, it was a team effort. I think Puppy has helped Crystalis come into his own on LAN, because pretty much the only experience they had prior to this was Riyadh. And also letting Resolution and Zayats have their honeymoon phase. It's a much stronger result than they had at Riyadh, and then obviously Nisha having an outstanding game. I mean, he's just very unassuming. He just comes in, smokes everyone, then leaves. It's hard to really get a gauge on what he's capable of, but in that game number 1 with the Invoker, I think Adam, they should be very encouraged going into that Western European qualifier. And now that we've seen all of the teams, we saw Liquid, we saw Entity, we see Secret, we see Alliance, and we see, what was the 5th one? Liquid, Entity, Secret, Nigma Galaxy. So between these, which ones do you have as your front runner looking forward to?
Nigma Galaxy.
Nigma
for
Galaxy.
Sure.
They didn't do that well at the tournament though.
Their quote-unquote ace wasn't here, right?
True.
They're playing with Stan in new patch. I think they have a... Some teams just have the feel of how they like come together as 5. Like if you look at the OG roster now, they have like the same kind of vibe. I also want to mention them a bit because I feel like OG Day 1 and OG Day 4, they are different beasts. The OG today looks so clean compared to the OG we saw a few days ago, and I think that's the best quality they have as a team. I think we're going to have a really good finals.
Yeah, if anything, being the lower bracket, I felt like probably played an advantage towards them because they get to play a lot more games, and then I feel like it's even more so because there's a new patch. And if you get to play more games in a new patch, you're going to be able to figure things out faster.
I would respectfully probably disagree about the qualifier. I don't think I would have Nigma as the front runner. I think it's still got to be Secret. It's not just recency bias, but it's also the fact that I think historically speaking, Nigma Galaxy and Kuroki's drafting generally gets better and better later on in a patch.
True.
They have very little time to prepare. Like this is happening pretty soon. I believe I guess in Nigma's favor, I suppose the European qualifier is one of the last ones to get played, if I'm not mistaken. I think it starts in a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think they're staggered.
So maybe that's gonna help them. If they had the first one, I think SA starts on September 3rd or something like that. If that was Nigma, I would be pretty worried. I think they have the time to prepare, but Secret got a lot of experience here, and I still think Nigma have a bit of catching up to do. Aside from that, don't count out Entity. They look good. They look really good in this tournament. They lost 2-1, and they were, very competitive in their games. So I think in the Western Europe qualifiers, any of those 3 teams have a good shot, and then Liquid Online,
Right. Liquid against Western
Impossible
European
to call
teams
that.
specifically, yeah. How about you, Winter? Which front runner are you taking, looking at the Western European TI-11 quals?
I probably feel like Secret has a pretty decent chance still. I feel like today wasn't like a true representation. They still have a lot of potential as a team. Like once they figure out, like what I mentioned to you, like during the breaks, like they need to be able to swap the lanes. They can't just, we need to lane Rezo and Zayats together. We need to be able to be more flexible so your opponents have more picks. It's going to be better for the team in the long run. Maybe the first couple of games it will be rougher because you're switching up that dynamic, but in the long run it's going to increase the skill ceiling of the team.
Yeah, you can't stick to that rigidity, especially if it's going to be that telegraphed. And believe me, all those qual teams are looking very, very closely. But now we're going to be looking at 2 teams that are already qualified for TI, Aster and OG. We see the immense growth that we've mentioned of OG throughout this entire tournament. Taiga specifically cited how he was looking forward to playing more lower bracket games because you get more experience. Aster seems to have just been on steroids for their leveling up throughout this tournament. I don't think that many people were expecting them to just 2-0 smash Secret in this upper bracket final, but they did it with total ease.
Yeah, I feel like Aster has definitely, it's kind of weird. I think Adam pointed this out yesterday. It was like there wasn't a patch for this team, right? Because Aster, I think more than most other teams have kind of seamlessly just transitioned, except on the very, very first day of the patch where in game 1 against Secret, they kind of were caught off guard and it was like, okay, we understand something new after this one game. And then after that, they kind of just more or less cleaned house. I think one lost to Fnatic in the upper bracket, and that was it, just one single game, but they won the series. So they're still the team to beat. The reason I'm kind of hesitant to just say they're the favorites is that I feel like every single time this story happens, OG always wins the final. Like literally every time, and they win it 3-1 in a best of 5. They lose game 1, and then they take the rest. So, you know, I want to be hopeful for Aster. I think it's been, you know, aside from PSG LGD, it's been a really long time since a Chinese team has been like really, really good on LAN. So I think the Chinese fans will be hopeful that Aster can carry the torch this time that LGD aren't here. But it's going to be a tough ask. I don't know if you guys have any favorites. I think it's pretty even.
Fob brought it up earlier, actually. He said that Aster is way better at punishing on the map. Like, I think the way Moni plays carry is a bit different from other people. And you can tell in their games like what they prioritize. They prioritize towers, the objectives, and they're just always 5 and always very willing to go, and they execute very well. So he mentioned that the tri-core of OG might have problems coming online against a fast-paced Aster.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. You know, maybe their playstyle, because you mentioned that the way they transition from the old patch to the new patch, it was like the patch never happened. Maybe it's because the way they played was already so optimal that it doesn't matter if the game is slower, because it's very all-rounded the way they're drafting. They have early game, they have mid game, they have late game. So even if the patch is slower, it still fits their playstyle. And if anything, because OG is more greedy, they might actually run into a lot more problems against Aster.
And do you think that there's anything that Aster learned by watching this Secret Series, maybe vulnerabilities that they're going to be able to expose?
I think Mars is going to be so contested in this series.
Almost certainly.
XXS has been getting it overall last pick. There's literally no way that's going to happen here. It's either going to be first phase banned or first phase picked. There's a possibility that these teams have a slightly better understanding of the Mars and countering it, so maybe it will close out the first phase overall instead of being the total first pick. But Mars will be huge, Chen will be huge. I think both heroes are very likely to just get banned more or less every game, and I think OG will not get Chen a single time at least. That would be my advice for Aster. Don't give Chen away, because that is OG's fastest hero. Take that out of the pool so that you play a little bit slower game, and that's where you can shine with your playstyle.
Well, OG is going to get some time to recharge before that best of 5 grand final. But if you're in the arena and you're looking for stuff to do, don't worry, I've got you covered. Right now, probably still right now, Slacks, Effie, MLP Dota, and John X Fire are doing an AMA/signing session, so you can go on over to the Madison Square if you want to get a piece of that. And if you're watching online, I have things for you to do also. You can get some sweet ESL merch. Go to esl.gg/URL and you can get some hats, hoodies, shirts, pants, probably, all the above. And we will be back in around 20 minutes, but don't miss anything. We have an opening performance ready for Grand Finals, and of course, we're gonna have the 2 teams. Thanks for sticking around, ESL One Malaysia. We'll be right back.